one of the best days every year for every college basketball sports fans, or just basketball fans in general across the world. It's the start of the 2024-2025 women's basketball season here for your Bowling Green Falcons as they take on the Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles here at the Show Center. Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the broadcast. I'm Lucas Clymer alongside Caden Knapp for the first time all season long. Caden, excited to join alongside with you for this game, and what are you looking forward to for this match?
I'm excited to be here. Basketball's back, and as you said, it's just one of the best days of the year. Who doesn't love some college basketball, both from the men's and the women's side? And this is going to be a fantastic matchup, and both these teams came off of fantastic exhibition play, and like I said, I'm excited to see players on the Southern Miss side and on the Bowling Green Falcons side.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about last season real quick. Let's recap it for head coach Fred Schmiel. Entering his first season with Bowling Green last year, first year in the MAC, coming over from South Carolina and the SEC. It was a tough year, filled with adversity. They had a lot of injuries. At some point, they only had 2 players on the bench for the team. Only 7 players rostered at one point. They even had a club player on the club women's basketball team here at BGSU come up as well, just to earn some minutes and be a practice player as well. But despite all that, still had a winning record just above 500. You lost in the opening MAC quarterfinals round to Buffalo, a very good Buffalo Bulls team. This year, Fred Schmiel wants their team to be more disciplined defensively, but also 8 new players, added a lot of height as well. But a team that he feels like as long as they stay healthy, they can reach their goals, which is contend for a MAC championship.
Yeah. And, I mean, they also have 7 returning players on top of that. And what doesn't, kill you makes you stronger, as Kelly Clarkson would say. So they know how to play with a short bench now that they're back. It's going to be great for them. And they still have Fleming, who is going to be out for a little bit. And she's off the floor. She's been just fantastic at coaching the team up and building them up. And as you said, they finished above 500 last year, so there's just a lot to look forward to. And, he has 1 year under his belt, getting his culture implemented and whatnot.
Yes, absolutely. And obviously you mentioned a lot of veteran players returning. Amy Velasquez, Erica Port both picked MAC all-team selections in the preseason. Paige Kohler had a fantastic freshman year, now entering her sophomore season. I know head coach Fred Schmiel and the rest of the Falcons are excited to see how she'll develop in her sophomore year. And then also you have Taya Ellis coming back as well, who's healthy. And you have a lot of exciting freshmen who we're going to talk a lot about all during the broadcast. Johnny Donahue, Lauren Gherkin, just to name a few as well. Who are some of the players for you, Caden, that you're looking forward to tonight?
I'm very excited to see Lauren Gherkin. She was just absolutely fantastic in high school. She set records. I think she's going to bring a lot of excitement, and, she's going to get a lot of minutes. And then going back to, she's one of the 8 players that are above 6 foot tall, too. The Falcons are tied with Toledo for the tallest team in the MAC, and the last time that they had this height was 2010, 2011, and they made it to the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, with Southern Mississippi, the Lady Eagles coming in on their head coach, Joy Lee McNeilis, in her 21st season at the helm of the Lady Eagles. Last season finished 20-14 overall, 14-13 away, 5-9 on the road, so not as great on the road as they were at home. 10-8 in the Sun Belt Conference, 10-6 in non-conference play. So a pretty strong season for a team that also contends in a very strong Sun Belt Conference. What do you make of this Lady Eagles squad? Yeah,
they're picked in the preseason to finish 7th right now, but coach is big on, play in the paint. 52% of their points last year came in the paint. And we'll talk about it later with our keys to the game. That's where Southern Miss lives.
Yes.
They live in that paint, and they have, tall players like Malia Grayson, 6'3" senior. We'll talk about her later. And, you have Morgan Steeper, also 6 foot underneath.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And, they're kind of in similar situations for both these teams, where Southern Mississippi only has a handful of returning players. A bulk of their squad, probably 2/3 of their squad, is new at this point, while for the Falcons, half of their squad is new. So a lot of new faces on the floor for both of these sides. For you, Caden, what, if you're head coach Fred Schmiel, do you want for this first game? We're going to get into our keys. We'll get to the starting fives in just a little bit. For it's your first game in your second year. The first year probably didn't go as much as you expected, or just with the cards that you dealt with, you did as much as you can with it. So for this first game, particularly the first game one of 30 plus they hope to play this season with all tournament play and everything. What, if you're head coach Fred Schmiel, do you look for tonight?
I'm looking for non-sloppy basketball. You got to protect that basketball, especially with Kohler. We're going to see how she does. She averaged 10 turnovers per game last year, I believe it was. And, I mean, when you turn it over, when you make big mistakes, that's when you get into a lot of trouble. So just stay away from playing sloppy basketball. Take good, composed shots, and don't panic.
Absolutely. And as a team as a whole, Bowling Green had about 15 plus turnovers average per game. That'll do it for us here for a second. We'll take a quick break and a couple words from our commercials back in the WBGU studio. And when we come back, we'll have the starting five for both teams and our keys to the game. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball here on WBGU 80.1 FM, the start of the 2024-2025 Women's College Basketball season. Don't go anywhere.
Standing up for what's right. Helping out when things go wrong. Seeking the truth and speaking our minds. Not just making records, but breaking them. Leading the way behind the camera, beyond the runway, and on the silver screen. Not just making our mark, but making a difference. Now that's a job for a Girl Scout. Girl Scouts, preparing girls for a lifetime of leadership.
What you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
BGSU football senior tight end and team captain Levi Gazarek recorded his first collegiate touchdown reception on a 2-yard pass from Connor Bazelak in the second quarter of the Falcons' 41-26 victory in the Battle of I-75 on October 26th. The touchdown grab was his first since the 2019 season when he was a senior at North Baltimore High School, where he had 158 yards and a receiving touchdown to go with 1,105 rushing yards, 1,110 passing yards, and 24 total touchdowns that season. Gazarek, who also pitches for the BGSU baseball team, is in the final year of eligibility. He is a 2-time team captain and has played in every football game since 2021, starting all but 13 in the 4-season span. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Did you know that people born from 1945 to 1965 have the highest rates of hepatitis C, but most don't know they're infected? People can live for decades without symptoms, but over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage and even liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 1965, the CDC recommends that you get a blood test for hepatitis C. So talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing. Inspire kids to do at 4h.org.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, I'm BGSU graduate Jason Jackson from the Miami Heat, and you are listening to WBGU 88.1 FM, home of the Falcons Media Sports Network.
BG Volleyball looks to sweep the Battle of I-75 against Toledo on Tuesday, November 5th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Chaz McNeil at 5:45 for pregame and 6 p.m. for first serve on WBGU 88.1 FM.
On October 4th, 2024, BGSU volleyball opposite hitter Lauren Hovey recorded her 115th career service ace in BG's comeback reverse sweep of Western Michigan, passing Paige Penrod for the most in program history during the rally scoring era. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call of the historic moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And that will make history. Lauren Hovey's 115th ace in the rally scoring era is in the history books as the Stroh Center applauds.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Welcome back inside the Stroh Center here. We are just moments away from tip-off between the Bowling Green Falcons and the Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles. I'm Luce Clemmer, joined alongside Caden Nath for the first time this season. All season long, Caden and I will be alongside this Bowling Green women's basketball team. We're so excited to bring you coverage from across the country and where they go for the rest of their non-conference schedule and for MAC play as well. Yep. Caden, let's go through the starting five for both of these teams. First with Bowling Green.
We have Taya Ellis and then Erica Porter in the center and forward positions. And then going to the guards, we have Amy Velasco, Jonna Donahue, and then Paige Kohler. That's John A. Donahue. And it's interesting to see we have 3 underclassmen in the starting lineup for the Falcons of Bowling Green.
Yes, and Taya Ellis is also one of those players who last season played a good part off the bench in the year, had a good role, dealt with a couple of injuries, a couple of adversity during the year as well. Now she's back in full health, getting into the starting five as well. Very good rebounder, very good at blocking, very good at steals as well. It'll be very good to see Taya Ellis back on the floor for this orange and brown team. And Caden, out of the starting five, Johnny Donahue is the new name that comes to mind. If you're a Falcon fan, she's a freshman coming in. What do you make of Donahue?
Well, I know from what you heard, what you told me is she really impressed you during that exhibition game against Wittenberg. I mean, as a freshman, she put on a show against Wittenberg. She was a lot of fun to watch. She got 18 minutes of play. She was 100% from the charity stripe, and she had 10 total points. She's impressive, and I'm excited to see her play basketball.
Freshman guard from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Can they be this team's Scottie Pippen? We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe Dennis Rodman, maybe as well. We'll see. A couple of comparisons. All right, let's go to the starting five for Southern Mississippi as well. As it's listed here, it's 4 guards and 1 center. We'll see how that kind of plays out on the court. But Kaden, what you got for the starting five for the?
So we got Bree Sutton, Trinity Rowe, Michaela Manley, Malia Grayson. That's the name we're going to be saying a lot tonight, and then Morgan Sieper. An interesting thing is Grayson and Sieper are 6 foot or more.
We'll take a quick break for the national anthem, and we'll come back after this message, and we'll give you more keys to the game. We're just moments away from tip-off team Bowling Green and Southern Miss. Don't go anywhere.
The Ohio State Highway Patrol is looking for motivated, service-minded individuals for the position of state trooper. The choice to become a trooper is a choice that positively affects the lives of countless people on a daily basis. Our minimum requirements are as follows. You must be 20 to 34 years of age, possess a high school diploma or GED, be a United States citizen, and have a valid driver's license. We will also pay you during your training. For information, visit our website at statepatrol.ohio.gov. It's simple. It's your tomorrow, and it starts here.
BGSU football cornerback Jordan Oladokin is this week's Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week thanks to his efforts against Toledo. Oladokin snagged his first 2 interceptions of the year in the rivalry win at the Glass Bowl. His first interception was returned 61 yards to the end zone for his second career pick 6. To add to that, he also recorded 3 solo tackles and 2 passes defended. The 6-foot senior was named to second-team All-MAC selection last season after tallying 4 interceptions, 10 passes defended, 1 tackle for loss, and 30 total tackles. This has been Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week.
It's hard to keep track of all the health information that comes your way, but you still want to make the right decisions. Here's an easy one. Get tested for hepatitis C. It's a leading cause of liver cancer and often has no symptoms. People born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. The good news is that now it can be cured. Talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. Know for sure. A message from the CDC.
Every year, millions of Americans use opioids to manage pain. And reliance on opioids has led to the worst drug crisis in American history. That's why the CDC recommends safer alternatives like physical therapy to manage pain. Physical therapists treat pain through movement, hands-on care, and patient education. No warning labels required. When it comes to your health, you have a choice. Choose physical therapy. Visit moveforwardpt.com to find a physical therapist in your area.
Welcome back inside the broadcast here, minutes away from tip-off between the Bowling Green Falcons and the Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles here. We just went through our starting 5, and Caden, right before we had to leave off for the national anthem, you mentioned Grayson, the center for Southern Mississippi. What about her game has impressed you so far, or has you impressed coming into this one?
She is fantastic at points in the paint. She's also very good at blocking shots and rebounding. Something I'd mentioned to you before is it's going to be interesting. Who has more blocks? Is it Ellis on Bowling Green or Grayson on the Lady Eagles side?
Yep.
And she's just really been a leader for this team. She's a senior.
Yep, and the last season started all 34 games for the Lady Eagles, averaged 26 minutes per game, total 284 rebounds total out of the course of 34 games. It's an average of 8.4 per game, which is a pretty strong margin, and then points average 12.6 points per well as well. And who's another player for the Lady Eagles, Kane, that kind of has your eye for this one? Obviously, Morgan Sieper is probably someone that we'll probably talk about a little bit as well. But Trinity Rowe is a freshman coming to this game that we don't have any really tape on, but also not a lot of notes on because this is her first collegiate basketball game.
Yeah, I was going to mention her. She's a freshman, as you said. She was the #1 recruit in all of the state of Kentucky. She was absolutely fantastic there. Kind of reminds me of Lauren Gherkin in our area, but at a bigger scale for her because she's onto the starting lineup for this team. And I think this offense, from a guard standpoint, is going to run through her and Grayson.
Absolutely, and only 5 players returned to this Eagles side from last year. Malia Grayson, Jacoria Bracey, who a lot probably expected her to start. She started 25 games last year, played 33, not in the starting 5 for the first game of the year tonight. Morgan Sieper, someone we talked about as well, a good player as well. Sieper, 34 games played, 25 starts. From 3, only shot 20% from 3, took 139 shots from beyond the arc. So she's someone that you're going to need to be a little more efficient from beyond the arc this season as well. Blocks and steals is where she finds her bread and butter as well. 15 blocks, 24 steals last year, and also points, average 5 per game. So she's a good defensive player as well. The other 2 players coming back from Southern Mississippi, Nyla Jean and Michaela Manley for Southern Mississippi here. As lights come back on here at the Show Center after another great intro video from the BGSU Athletics video marketing team.
Let's get this thing going.
Excited to go. Once again, the 5 on the floor starting for the Falcons. Amy Velasco, Johnny Donahue, and making her first official collegiate start. Paige Kohler, Taya Ellis, and Erica Porter rounds out the starting 5 for Bowling Green. And for the Golden Eagles, Bree Sutton, Trinity Rowe, Morgan Sieper, Michaela Manley, and Malia Grayson for the 5 for the Golden Eagles. The Falcons will be going left to right on your radio dial, while the Golden Eagles are going right to left. Excited for this one, Caden. Opening tip coming up. Erica Porter and Grayson.
Side note, it also looks like the officials got new uniforms, gray and blue.
They do. They do. A little fun gear start this season here. Whistle sounds, ball is up, and tip is won in favor of the Falcons. Erica Porter has well won that one, and we are underway. The 2024-25 season for Bowling Green. Velasco down low, finds Tella Ellis, moves inside the paint, kicks it back out top of the key to Velasco. Velasco now moves to the right, hands it off to Kohler. Kohler moves right now back to left, hands this one off to Tella Ellis, drives inside, using her right there. A lot of contact. Nothing called, has that one knocked away. Bowling Green will remain possession.
Yep, Malia Grayson making an impact right off the bat. She's the one who knocked that out of bounds for the Lady Eagles.
Got 12 on the shot clock, 9:39 remaining in the first quarter. Erica Porter gets this one inbound to Golden Eagles. Around her there, that's one's taken away as Golden Eagles come back the other way. Here's Rowe. Rowe, a corner three from Sieper. That one is off and no good. Rebounded from Grayson there. And a whistle called.
First foul of the game.
First foul of the game will be on Erica Porter.
It was interesting that they elected to go with the three there. We don't see Southern Miss do that too often.
Definitely a quick early 3-2. That one was tipped from Johnny Donahue. I was trying to inbound this one. The Bowling Green looking to go quick. Velasco in the right corner. Donahue. Donahue now drives baseline. Has a couple players guard. Now kicks out wide left to Kohler. Kohler there. A lot of contact there and whistle blown. And Kohler draws a foul.
That was one of the easier ones to call if you're an official. Manley had a lot of contact there, and there were only 2 players out there in that area. Clear view.
So first change already. 9:15 left to go here in the first quarter. 0-0 Bowling Green Southern Miss. In comes now Jean for Southern Mississippi, and out goes Manley for the Lady Eagles. Velasco inbound this one underneath the hoop. Velasco all the way back out to Donahue, now top of the key. Donahue all the way to the right wing. Velasco thought about 3. Was guarded by 2 Eagles. Back to Donahue and back to Velasco. Now works inside. Ellis now drives baseline under the rim, and the first points of the 2024-25 season goes to Taya Ellis and the Falcons.
Beautiful, beautiful shot there. It was a reverse layup over Grayson, and that matchup is something we're going to be looking for all night.
Absolutely, indeed, Caden. Here's Jean's first touch on the ball. Top of the arc, then back to Sieper, top of the key. Guarded by Ellis. Like to give it to Sutton. Now Sutton all the way out to Grayson. Grayson now moves inside. Allowed to hand this one off to Rowe, now does. Here's Rowe moving inside. Rowe gives it back to Sieper, guarded by Ellis. Now a long-range choose. Sieper, that one no good. Box out from Porter initially, but the follow-up chance from Jean is good and draws the foul.
Wow, look at the ball movement there. There was at least 4 or 5 passes that I had counted from Southern Miss, and that's quality offensive basketball on their side. And we had that foul, and, what I say with the count it shots is, well, you got to foul them hard enough so they don't make the shot.
We'll see what Jean can do here to make it a 3-point play for the Lady Eagles, and she does. Gets that one to go 3-2. Lady Eagles, 8:29 left to go here in the first. Ellis will inbound Velasco. Velasco back to Ellis. Ellis to Donahue. Donahue guard by 3. Lady Eagles at one point. Gets it off to Ellis. Ellis moves to the right wing, now moves inside. Velasco back to Donahue. Donahue surveys her options. Now moves to the right wing, back to Velasco, moves inside. Amy Velasco, a little floater there off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded from Erica Porter and puts it up and in.
Nice box out move there and get a rebound underneath and put it back.
Here comes Ladies the other way. Grayson there, a little deep two there from a difficult angle. Porter gets that one to fall. Her first shot of the season goes through. 5-4. Lady Eagles, 7:47 left to go in the first. Here's Donahue. Drives inside. Donahue takes the contact, trying to put that one up. Can't get that one to go. And that was last touch off of Erica Porter. She tried to get in for the rebound. Can't hold it in, but the Eagles will take over.
That's back-to-back Falcon shots where there's a lot of contact, but no whistle by the officials. It looks like they're letting them play a little bit.
For sure, there's definitely a lot of contact for Donahue. As Sutton will dribble this one up the court, guard by Donahue. Puts on a nice move, gets around. Porter drives inside, takes on 2 Falcons. Nice little pump fake there. Had Porter kind of jump over her a little bit there, and a foul is going to be called. And once again, it's going to be Erica Porter, and Shamil is going to have to take her out. And for the first time in her Bowling Green Falcon career, Kendall Moxie will be checking in for the Falcons.
Moxie, the transfer from Daytona State College, also a Falcon mascot.
Tallest player on the court for Bowling Green, guarded by Grayson there. Ooh. Great defensive player from Moxie. As Grayson misses that one badly. Kohler comes back the other way here. Puts on a nice couple moves, hands this one off to Velasco by the right wing. Right corner, Kohler will take a deep three, and Paige Kohler knocks it down.
Again with the ball movement, get it out there, and Kohler, fantastic score, gives the Falcons the lead.
7-5 with 7 minutes left to go here in the first. Sutton and Lady Eagles back the other way. Sutton guarded by Donahue there, tripped up there, and a travel called on Sutton.
Sutton not happy with that call. She was yelling on the ground.
And you see there a little bit, Caden, that's what Donahue brings. Donahue brings very fast, aggressive defense there, and is able to force Sutton there to force her to commit a travel.
Yes.
So a couple changes coming in for the Lady Eagles as well. Ellis will inbound this one to Velasco. Velasco. Ellis inside. Ellis to her left, trying to move inside, now looking for an option. Ellis out to the left wing to Kohler. Kohler drives baseline, tough shot, and Kohler, what a finish from the baseline, gets that one to go.
What a nice move, and I mean, she just burst up that baseline after getting the basketball.
4-point lead now for the Orange and Brown, 9-5. 6:25 left to play. Here's Manley. Checking back in. Whistle called. It'll go in favor of the Falcons.
Yeah, Malia Grayson did an illegal screen there. Her feet were not planted when she laid the screen there.
So that's like now a couple times we've seen us Lady Eagles just a little bit sloppy. Their offensive possession now scoreless. 1:35 and counting. Here's Velasco and the Falcons the other way. Ellis. Here's Ellis, top of the key, out to left wing. Velasco, now Kohler. Kohler works left, now works her way back. Back to Donahue, now all the way out to the right. Velasco switches all the way to Moxie inside. Moxie double teamed by a couple of Lady Eagles, gets that one out of bounds, and a travel's going to be called on the transfer.
Yeah, Moxie is a fantastic add for this Falcons team. She brings a lot of rebounding and height that is much needed. I mean, she's by far the tallest player on the floor right now. You mentioned it when she entered the game, Lucas.
A player with height that Bowling Green hasn't had in quite some time. At least someone with her rebounding ability as Moxie. Donahue guarding there. Jean was quite incredible defense from the freshman. And we get off to Sieper. Sieper in the left corner now to Manley. Guarded by Paige Kohler. All out to the left wing. Here's Rowe. Rowe back inside. Manley now moves inside. Now moves to the free throw line. And Manley, that one rolls in and out and rebounded from Ellis.
I love the physicality by both these teams in the early going.
Donahue out to the left wing. Out to Kohler in the left corner, puts a pump fake, and that's a deep two from Kohler. That one's no good. Trying to rebound, that was Moxie. Can't get that one off her fingertips. Rowe comes up with it. Here comes Rowe and Southern Mississippi the other way. Rowe moves inside the paint, puts on a little fake to Ellis, and that's swatted away from Taya Ellis.
Block number one for her, block number one for the Falcons this season, and she had 2 forward block games last year. I mean, she was the first since Liz Honegger in 03 and 04 to do that as a freshman for the Falcons.
Very impressive indeed. 9-5 Bowling Green, almost halfway through the first quarter. That ball is given away at the inbound from Southern Miss. Johnny Donahue will collect this one out to top of key. Velasco. Ellis back to Velasco. Velasco out to the right. Kohler looking for some movement inside. Donahue now goes out to the left. Donahue finds Ellis, now drives baseline. Donahue gets this one off to Ellis able to find Donahue there underneath the basket. That was quick passing there from Bowling Green, and Donahue able to draw the foul.
Yeah, I mean, see a little too much contact there. And when you're Southern Miss, you're any team in general, you use that baseline as a second defender, third defender, and they didn't do a very good job there. The foul happened, and Falcons get it back.
So just under 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. 9-5 Bowling Green. Timeout on the court. We're going to take it with them. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft brewing, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See your latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll take a quick break and be back with you for the rest of the first quarter. Bowling Green leads Southern Mississippi 9-5. Don't go anywhere.
You came across someone struggling with hunger. How would you recognize them? Would you notice an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for
summer break because she may not be having lunch again until September?
Or a war veteran who's having a hard time landing a job
and getting back on his feet?
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
My name is Jamal Johnson, number 6, running back in the senior, and here are my Falcon 4 favorite candies. First, we have Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, Reese's Pieces, and Hershey Kisses. And these are my favorite because when you're at Halloween and you dump out that bag, these are the best Halloween candies to pull out. So those are my favorites.
Back here with 4:47 left to go here in the first quarter of the Stroh Center. It's this season opener of the 2024-2025 women's basketball season for the Bowling Green Falcons as they take on the Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles for the first time ever. First ever matchup between these two programs here. A 9-5 Bowling Green lead. Caden, Lucas Clymer, Caden Knapp alongside with you. Caden, what have you made of the first 5 minutes and change of this first quarter?
We were chatting about it in the break, but there's a lot of physicality, and early on for Bowling Green, it looks like they're running through Donahue. She has touched the ball in almost every offensive possession for them. She's been all over the place. And another, note is this is season number 50 for the Lady Eagles.
It is indeed. And I'm glad you mentioned that they're kind of leading by Donahue, because a lot of you probably think right now they're shooting 4 for 7 from the floor. It's pretty good offensively, making more than 50% of their shots, but Donahue's leading the defensive end for Bowling Green. They've now held Lady Eagles to just 2 for 7 from the floor so far this game.
Yeah. And as we said in the pregame, the Lady Eagles live in the paint, and I had mentioned that the Falcons got to win the battle in the paint if they want to win this game.
Absolutely, indeed. And something to note as well, only 2 3-pointer attempts we've seen from both teams. The first offensive possession of the season for Southern Mississippi was a 3-pointer attempt. That one was no good, and the only 3 made of the game for so far Falcons was Paige Kohler. So before the timeout, Donahue was fouled underneath the basket. She'll go to the charity stripe here, looking to get her first collegiate points. That first one there is no good. She'll try for take number 2.
She went 4 of 4 in the exhibition game from the stripe.
And able to get that one to go. So 1 for 2 trip there from the line. 10-5 now Bowling Green with 4:47 left to play here.
The student section really enjoyed that. They cheered loud.
Got to say, too, Caden, for a Monday night start of the week, the student section there, Ziggyville showing out. The season number for Bowling Green, and that one's poked away from Ellis as Jean was looking off the court there, does well to collect the rebound. Sieper all the way out to the left corner there. That's a 3 there, and that one's off the mark there from Shanks. Her first attempt of the game. Knocked away there from Moxley. Trying to put that one in the air. Now Kohler looking to start the fast break for Bowling Green to Velasco. Velasco moves inside, able to cut by 3. Lady Eagles. Kohler back to Velasco. Play a little game of back and forth. Kohler from deep 3 from left wing, and she's got it.
And just barely snuck in, and that was all created by Moxie and her height underneath to tip the ball away, and then the nice patience by Velasco on the other side to not force up a shot.
Donahue checks out for Bowling Green, and for the first time in her career, Brooks Simpson checks in for the Falcons. She's guarding right now Rowe. Rowe is going to take a deep 2, and Rowe gets that one to go. Drain that one with conviction.
That was a smart shot choice by Rowe. She got a split second because Simpson and Ellis had a little bit of a collision there. And that's all you need in basketball sometimes.
Definitely found that open space there. Took a deep 2 and made it. Bowling Green comes back the other way. 13-7, 3-3 left to go in the first. Moxie down low, makes a nice move and gets it to finish for her first points in an orange and brown uniform.
And over 2 defenders, too.
And Southern Mississippi the other way, a quick 3 from Rowe. That's off the mark there. Guarded underneath the rim as that attempt from Evans is no good, and it was a foul on Moxie.
Yeah, we had mentioned there's been a lot of physicality in the early going to this one, and right now, Southern Mississippi just forcing up these 3s and shots that just really, as a Southern Mississippi fan, you don't want to see them take because they just don't do it too often.
Absolutely. So Evans will go to the line the first time tonight, and for the second time this game, the Lady Eagles would go to the line. She knocks that first one down, so 15-8. 5 on the court right now. Evans, Jean, Shanks, Sieper, and Rowe for Lady Eagles. Evans gets that one to go as well. So a perfect trip from the charity stripe, 2 for 2. 15-9, Bowling Green, a 6-point lead.
There are 3 Lady Eagles in their backcourt.
Yep, full court press a little bit from Lady Eagles. And a quick 3 from Paige Kohler again. That one off the mark. And rebound there from Evans.
I get the shot selection there, just a little too much power under it.
So a quick 3 there. The first time you see it for Bowling Green. Knocked away from Simpsons and regarded there from Ellis. So another turnover created there by the Falcon defense. Velasco out to the right wing. Simpson, who created that turnover. Velasco back to Kohler. Now back to Velasco, who's going to try a 3 of her own. That one off the front of the rim, no good. A lot of contact underneath the rim. And a foul called on Southern Mississippi.
Yeah, Sieper's going to get the foul there. She made a lot of contact in the back of it. I think that was Moxie underneath for the Falcons. Another very obvious call.
Yep, a lot of contact there. And for the first time in her Falcon career, Lauren Gherkin, who we mentioned on our pregame show, will check in for Taya Ellis.
She scored 1,956 points in high school, which is a Hancock County record for men's and women's basketball. Excited to see her play.
Grayson checks back in as well. Here's Simpson out to the left corner, Kohler. Kohler to Simpson. Kohler back to Velasco, right wing, now down baseline. Lauren Gherkin, her first attempt as a Falcon is off the mark. And another whistle called and another foul called on the Lady Eagles. So Bowling Green will remain possession here, 15-9. Bowling Green, 2:34 left to play here in the first. So Amy Velasco there, victim of that foul.
An interesting note about Amy Velasco, she's the first academic American selection for Bowling Green in 20 years last year.
Indeed, and was getting preseason accolades as well. Velasco's first attempt for the line is up and good. Making now a 7-point lead for the Orange and Brown. Velasco looking to make it perfect trip, and she does. 17-9 Bowling Green. Donahue checks in for Kohler. So an 8-point lead for the Falcons. 2:34 left to play here in the first. Inbound and come back the other way is Jean for the Lady Eagles. Jean drives inside, gained by Donahue, and gets that one to roll in. So Jean,
she froze Moxie there and moves through 2 defenders. Beautiful shot.
17-11 Bowling Green, 2:15 left to go here in the first. Velasco, top of the key, out to Simpson, left, now back to Velasco, now back to Donahue and to the right. Donahue, long switch looking for Simpson there. That was a dangerous pass. Simpson as well to come up with that one and has that one stolen away from Jean. And up the other way on a fast break, and Jean gets that one to go, plus the contact. So a turnover and points off the turnover there from Bowling Green.
You always hold your breath when you see those long throws across the floor.
17-13 now Bowling Green, lead cut down the floor. 1:45 left to go here in the first. Gherkin now down to the byline. Gherkin out to Velasco, all the way out to Simpson. Velasco, she'll try a 3 from long range. Velasco, that one no good. And rebound hold in there from Sutton. And Jean and the Lady Eagles back the other way. Down the left wing, Sutton. Velasco backed off her initially. Now she'll take her time and survey her options. Sutton gets a nice screen there from Grayson, and that one blocked away initially from Moxie. We thought was clean. Official says too much contact, and she'll be shooting 2.
That one was close. But, you know, you got to go with what the official calls on the floor.
So second personal foul there from Moxie. She'll check out along with Velasco for the first time this game. So Ellis would come back in. Paige Kohler will come back in as well. So Sutton looking for her first points. Can't connect on that first one. That one ricochets in and out.
Sutton's another player for the Lady Eagles that hasn't had too much playing time. She transferred from Arkansas State and just played 6 games there last year.
Looking to get her points, and that one just bounces in and out, so an 0 for 2 trip there from Sutton, rebounded from Gherkin.
Nice box out by her as well.
Here's Kohler up the floor for Bowling Green. Donahue now back to Gherkin, looking to return the favor back to Ellis, and that one as a turnover and stolen away from the Lady Eagles. Jean now back the other way. A mid-range shot there, no good. Donahue comes up with the ball. Here's Donahue back to Kohler. Under a minute left to play here in the first. 17-13 Bowling Green. Now down to 50 seconds and counting. Kohler down to Simpson. Simpson back to Kohler. Guarded heavily there from Shanks. And Kohler loses the ball and picked off from Jean. And back the other way from the Lady Eagles. Sutton down the baseline and finds a wide open player in the corner. And that 3 from Sieper is no good. And rebounded again, picked off from Sutton and gives it to Evans. And Evans gets that one to go. So a crazy sequence there nonetheless.
That was essentially a 5-on-4 in favor of the Lady Eagles. I mean, Kohler fell to the ground there, and I mean, there was blood seeping down her face, and Coach Shamil's like, she's bleeding, she's bleeding, she's bleeding, and
yeah, Paige Kohler now holding her nose with one of the towels. Hit the floor pretty hard there.
I mean, yeah, she couldn't, I don't think she could see because she was over there by Coach Shamil just holding her face.
So, for the first time in her collegiate career, freshman guard from Cincinnati, Ohio, Layla Harrison will check in for the Falcons. So on the floor is Ellis, Donahue, Harrison, Velasco, and Gherkin. With 25 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, now 17-15 Bowling Green. All of a sudden, Caden, this 6-0 run from the Lady Eagles has the lead just cut down to just a bucket.
Yeah, and it's most of their points that have been created by the turnovers or strong defense.
Ball inbound, Gherkin to Velasco. Now down to 20 seconds. Shot clock is off. Velasco to Gherkin. Gherkin's going to try a deep three. Lauren Gherkin, no good. Ellis with a great rebound. Ellis trying to put up a shot there. A lot of contact and draws the foul. What a rebound there from Taya Ellis.
Yeah, I mean, she really used every part of her 6'1" height plus her arm span and to tap that ball in the air and make sure only she could get it.
Rebounds have been pretty sporadic for the Falcons. 8 total rebounds in the first quarter. Pretty much a lot of players have 1 apiece. 5 players, 1 for the Falcons. Ellis has 2. Her first attempt here for the charity stripe is no good, so it remains a 2-point lead for the Falcons. 17-15 Bowling Green. Ellis' second attempt is good, so a 3-point lead for the Falcons. As Emily Cecil will check in for the first time here for the final 11 seconds to go in the first quarter. Remy Velasco. Ball inbound, Sutton. 9 seconds left and counting. Sutton guarded by Cecil, down to 5. Sutton down to 3. Sutton now moves to her left, and now Jean with 1 second left on the clock. Jean puts up a shot there, and no good as the buzzer sounds. So a defensive stand there for Bowling Green at the end of the first, Caden, to prevail a 3-point lead and to go in the second.
Yeah, I think that was a huge sequence because it kind of, slowed the momentum for Southern Mississippi. And, I mean, it was all created by that little breather that the Falcons got. And then Ellis, nice rebound and made one of her 2 free throws.
So a solid first quarter of the season for Bowling Green. They have a 3-point lead here heading into the second. The Falcons 18, Southern Mississippi 15 here. As we head into the second quarter, you're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Don't go anywhere.
We depend on our drinking water supply daily, but where does that water come from? Your water provider encourages you to get to know your local water source so together we can protect and preserve it. The investments we make as a community to protect our water source now ensure we have a sustainable drinking water supply for the future. Visit drinktap.org to learn more. This message is brought to you by the American Water Works Association and your local water provider.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. At Children International, we know that the journey to end poverty for good begins first with a child. It starts with their first checkup, lesson, opportunity, job. That journey takes commitment from people like you and me to end poverty for good. Learn more at children.org.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Action begins this Tuesday, November 5th at 7:30 as the Orange and Brown square off against Central Michigan. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview and recap of the event available on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here at the Show Center for the start of the second quarter. Bowling Green 18, Southern Mississippi 15. I'm Lucas Clamar, joined alongside Caden Knapp with you here. Caden, your thoughts on the first quarter?
Well, for the Falcons, it was a very good quarter until the last 2 minutes. Then it kind of got a little sloppy. There was multiple turnovers, and on both sides there was a lot of fouls, but the Falcons, the big thing is they lead by 3 heading into the second quarter.
Big thing that stood out there were bench points, 11 for Southern Mississippi, just 2 for Bowling Green, as this one is back in play here, and a nice feed for Grayson down low. We didn't see much of her in the first quarter. Gets her points to go, and now it's a 1-point lead for the Falcons, 18-7 with 9:4 left to go. Donahue to Harrison. Harrison, Donahue, Gherkin, Cecil, and Ellis. Oh, what a pass from Donahue to find Ellis. Gets that one up and in. The alley-oop.
Yeah, another good use of Ellis's height underneath to put it up over two defenders. The Falcons are now 46% from the floor today.
Gene Shanks, Sutton, Grayson, and Sieper on the floor for Southern Mississippi. Sutton out to Shanks. Shanks finds Grayson, matches up with Ellis down low. Grayson, guard now double teamed by Cecil there. A lot of contact there off the arm, and a foul is going to be called, I believe, on Emily Cecil.
We had mentioned during the break that, it's a good thing that the fouls reset at the end of the quarter, team-wise, obviously not player-wise, because we had a lot of fouls in the first quarter of play. As we said, a lot of contact on both sides. Both teams definitely playing physical.
Definitely been a physical basketball game indeed. Cecil, her first personal foul of the game, so Grayson will go to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
Now, last year against MAC opponents, Grayson averaged 10 points per game.
It'll knock down the first one. Grayson, nothing but net. Looking to go 2 for 2. Show center crowd trying to throw her off a little bit. Gets that one to rattle in. So it's 20-19 now. Bowling Green, 9:07 left to play here in the second. Here down here up the court here, just knocked away initially from Gene. Does well to recollect the ball. Knocked away again from behind from Gene. No whistle called. Gene and Southern Mississippi come back the other way. Feeds this one to Sun. Sun all the way to the right. It'll find Shanks now inside to Grayson. Finds Sun underneath the rim and gets that one to go. And Southern Mississippi will take the lead 21-20 with 8:45 left to play here.
The passing again was just fantastic there. Good on them for not electing to force up a three. They're 0-4 today.
So Bowling Green back the other way. Donahue, Cecil, top of the key. Cecil has Gherkin wide open, top of the key, and whistle blown, and the shot won't be good.
Coach Samil used the timeout there.
Indeed he did as well. I thought they blew a whistle there on Gherkin. She looked a little confused there. Instead, Shamil did blow for a timeout. The first timeout really we've seen from both sides, decided the media timeout in the first quarter. So with this timeout, we'll take it with them here. The Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles have a 21-20 lead here. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. Don't go anywhere.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back here after the quick timeout from head coach Fred Shamil, 21-20 Lady Eagles. A little bit of a run here from Southern Mississippi. Caden has got them into the lead.
Yeah, they've had a fantastic last, I'm going to say, 3.5 minutes extending back into the first quarter, and that was a very smart timeout by Coach Shamil. Interesting decision to wait till they crossed mid-court to call timeout, but timeout nevertheless. And we saw at the end of the first quarter something that kind of got Bowling Green a little tiny bit of momentum was they had a little bit of a break and play. And you have the timeouts, might as well use them when you need them.
Definitely will agree with you there. Smart timeout there from Coach Shamil, trying to stop the bleeding a little bit. Definitely a momentum run there for Southern Mississippi. So 5 on the court when we resume plays. Kohler, Donahue, Velasco, Gherkin, and Ellis. For Lady Eagles, unchanged. Gene, who's been very impressive this game for Southern Mississippi. Shanks, Sutton, Grayson, and Sieper as Bowling Green will inbound this one. 9 on the shot clock there, so that's pretty important on this possession. 8:25 left to go here in the second quarter.
Still waiting for the inbound. By the way, this is Southern Miss's first time playing in the state of Ohio since 2008 when they took on fellow Bowling Green MAC opponent, Ohio.
Definitely been a long time since they've been to the Buckeye State. Looking to get away with their trip with a victory to start the year. We'll see what Bowling Green has to say about it. Donahue will inbound this one, 9 on the shot clock, 8:25, 21-20, Southern Mississippi. Donahue looks for an option, gives it to Gherkin. Gherkin back to Donahue, top of the key, Kohler. Kohler back to Donahue, 5 on the shot clock. Donahue in the right corner, Gherkin for 3, Lauren Gherkin knocks it down! How about that from the freshman?
That one, rattled in, and that was a big shot for the Falcons, got the fans pumped up. Hopefully the team as well.
Hitting down her first 3 as a Falcon. Jean back the other way and has that one stolen from Lauren Gherkin. Donahue come back the other way on the fast break. Donahue looking to switch, and that one's stolen in the air there.
There was a
Sutton.
Great defensive play for the Falcons there, and then not a good pass. And back to Southern Mississippi.
23-21, Bowling Green, 7:40 left to play here. Now here's Southern Mississippi with an offensive possession. Grayson to Sieper. Back to Jean. Out to the left wing. Grayson guarded well there from Ellis. Ellis now working down low, 1-on-1. That's a tough matchup there. Grayson misses the first shot, gets it back, and blocked there from Gherkin and Ellis. Great teamwork defensively. Kohler back the other way for the Falcons on the fast break. Kohler drives left to her left and gets that one to roll in. What a run from the sophomore.
Let me tell you, today with the Falcons layups, they've all been just great. I mean, you have reverse layups, you have nice moves to lead up, and got to hit the layups. Falcons been doing that so far.
7:05 left to play in the second. 25-21, Bowling Green a 4-point lead now. Shanks to Sieper, trying to go past inside. Grayson, oh, the deflection off the backboard, gets it right back to her and gets that one to knock in. So 25-23 now, under 7 minutes left to play.
I don't know how Grayson came up with that basketball. My goodness.
Kohler out to Gherkin. Gherkin, why not for 3 again? And she drains it. Feed the hot hand, and Lauren Gherkin there. 6 points and 2 for 3 from downtown.
As we said earlier, she is a huge scoring threat in high school, picking up kind of where she left off. Back-to-back great threes.
28-23 Bowling Green. Jean back the other way. Takes it herself there. A lot of contact from Gherkin. Great defensive play. And Bowling Green can't hold in the defensive rebound there. Goes out of bounds. Southern Mississippi will inbound this one.
Again, that timeout was very big.
Yes.
And you can tell just the energy level is so much higher for the Falcons, and they look more composed.
Grayson comes out. Evans will check back in for the Lady Eagles. So we got 15 on the shot clock. And for the first time this game, as well, checking in for Bowling Green, Jasmine Fern from Australia will come back into this game. So come in for Ty Ellis. Inbound this one, Evans. Evans moves inside. Shot goes up there, and a whistle blown, and a foul is going to be called on Bowling Green. We'll see who they assess this one to. They'll inbound this one once again. That's being Paige Kohler. He'll be her first personal foul. Inbound this one back to Evans, and a travel called on Evans underneath the basket.
That's one of those that Evans knew. I mean, you could tell when she was like, yeah, smiling, like, yep, I did that.
Well, interesting, they went right back to Kohler, who just had that foul. And Kohler did well there defensively that time there. Forced her to kind of trip over her feet a little bit and commit the travel. Velasco brings it up the court for the Falcons. Fern, her first touch of the ball. Kohler, and now Donahue. Donahue knocked away again. Donahue to Kohler. Kohler to Velasco. Velasco moves out to the right wing. Now Velasco moves inside, guarded by 3. Lady Eagles takes it herself and gets the contact and gets that one to fall. Amy Velasco will have a chance to make it a 3-point play from the line.
Again, good job getting away from the pressure on the Falcons side. I mean, anytime someone has the basketball, there is a Lady Eagle right in their face. And good job staying composed, moving around, and then making that basket through the contact did Velasco.
Velasco 4 points, now 1 for 4 from the floor. Able to get that one to go. Can't convert on the 3-point play, has that one ricochet in and out. Ellis, who's checked back in the game for Donahue, gets the rebound and try to get that one to go. Couldn't get it. Has a lot of contact there, draws the foul, and will go to the cherry stripe once again. Ellis has been phenomenal rebounding on both ends of the floor, but especially offensively.
It's good to see that, too. I mean, taking that next step, Falcons, of course, added that height to, get more rebounds and big plays. Because
Ellis, their first attempt is off the front of the rim, and no good.
Rebounds create opportunities.
Words of wisdom, my friend. Indeed they do. Ellis' second attempt there. That one's no good once again, so no for 2 trip to the line. But a nice rebound there from Lauren Gherkin. Gherkin double team, feeds this one back to Ellis. That moves inside the paint now. Ellis now gives it, finds Kohler wide open for a D3. Paige Kohler off the front of the rim again. Ellis there trying to get the rebound, now fighting for a loose ball. And it's picked up there from Jean Gherkin there trying to find the rebound. And Jean very strong there to hold that ball. So
a great play by her.
Bowling Green comes up empty down. Jean takes it herself. A little floater there. That one's no good off the front of the rim. Gets her own rebound. Out to Sutton.
It's like a hot potato with how much they're passing this ball.
Fast-paced action, especially in this second. Sutton guarded by Velasco. Sutton now out to the left to Jean. Jean back to Evans, top of the key, guarded by Gherkin. Jean now moves inside, uses her body. A nice spin move, and finishes with the left. He gets that one to go. 5 minutes left to play here, 30-25 Bowling Green.
Yeah, good move there. Much needed points for Southern Miss on top of that.
Here's Kohler. Out wide left, Kohler feeds Velasco. Velasco finds out right Jasmine Fern for 3. That one is no good and rebounded from Sutton.
I have noticed in the second quarter, notice how Southern Miss crashes on the ball. There's 3 defenders anytime that ball gets into the paint.
Here's Jean. Sieper moves inside, poked away from Gherkin as she was trying to find Evans inside. Evans now working on Gherkin. Blocked in the air from Gherkin. What a defensive play and hold in by Ellis. Kohler back the other way for the Falcons. Kohler on the fast break. Kohler to her left. Oh, what a run. Able to find the seam. Like a hot knife through butter. Paige Kohler finds her way through and gets that one to go to make it a 7-point lead for the Falcons.
Yeah, she really weaved and bobbed through those 3 defenders to, take that nice shot, and the freshman, or sophomore now, is looking good so far. Had a fantastic game against Wittenberg on her birthday.
So 32-25, Bowling Green 4:12 left to play in the second quarter. 30-second timeout will stay right here, but this timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. One of my personal favorites here in downtown Bowling Green as well.
Last year, Kohler was one of 2 Falcons to start all 31 games.
And she had to. With the amount of injuries this team faced last year, Kohler was kind of forced to kind of get thrown into the deep end, I think is the best expression you can say of it. A lot of games she may have had a lot of turns, a lot of games where she might have struggled, but they had no one else to kind of soak up her minutes, so she was forced to play a lot of minutes, and she's reaping the benefits from it heading into her second year.
She really thrived in that role, too, leading the MAC freshman in scoring, assists, and assist-to-turnover ratio.
So as play gets underway, here's Sutton back to Evans underneath now here. Grayson, who's checked back into the game for the Eagles post timeout, gets that one to go up and in off the glass. 32-27 Bowling Green 5-point lead. Under 4 minutes left to go here in the second quarter.
Grayson had been sitting in front of the scorers table for a minute or 2. They needed her back in the game.
Fern hands this one off to Kohler, and a whistle called, and a foul's going to be called on Fern. So another empty possession from Bowling Green.
This game feels like the score is a lot more separated than it is.
Definitely does indeed. Only a 5-point lead from Bowling Green now. 3:35 left to play in the second quarter. Southern Mississippi looking to get some momentum. A long switch to Sieper. That might be a deep 2. It ricochets in and out. And rebounded, held in from Fern. Here's Kohler fast the other way. Kohler hands one back off to Fern. Thought about a 3. Back to Kohler. Kohler to Velasco. Fights off the challenge of Shanks. Now guarded by Jean. All the way to the right wing. Velasco now moves back to the inside. Back outside, Gherkin. Gherkin hands this one off to Kohler. 8 on the shot clock and counting there. A lot of contact there and a foul. Going to be 1 from Southern Mississippi. A charge there from Paige Kohler.
That's another one of those one-on-one, and the official has no distraction or anything around to not call that.
Maybe just a little bit too much there from Paige Kohler. So 5 on the floor for Bowling Green now with a couple subs coming in as Ellis and Kohler come out. Moxley and Donahue come in. Moxley, Donahue, Velasco, Gherkin, and Fern. Seen a lot of different rotations from Fred Shamil in this first game as Southern Mississippi come back the other way, and a clear travel going to be called there on Sutton as she moved inside the paint.
Yeah, Sutton's trying to pivot around, but she ended up moving her plant foot and back to the orange and brown.
So under 3 minutes left to go here, 32-27 Bowling Green. Velasco up the court once again for the Falcons, trying to extend their lead before they head into halftime. Velasco to Gherkin. Donahue into the right corner. Fern guarded by Shanks. Now back out to Donahue. Long switch to the left. Velasco. Quick little pump fake. Velasco moves inside. Now guarded by two Lady Eagles. Oh, and a tough finish again from Amy Velasco. Gets that one to go. And she'll go to the line once again.
Yeah, another chance for a good old-fashioned three-point play. The Falcons are taking the contact and still making these big shots.
That's 6 points now for Velasco on 2 for 5 shooting. She's 2 for 5 from the line and leads the team right now in assists with 3.
I think the Falcons are starting to figure out this Southern Miss 3-2 zone.
Velasco puts that one up and gets that one to fall. So it's now an 8-point lead for the Falcons, 35-27. Under 2:30 left to go here in the second quarter. Jean comes out as Rowe will come back in for the Lady Eagles. Here's Sutton, guarded by Donahue. Sutton out to the right wing, guarded by Donahue. Now a long switch to the left corner, trying to find Sieper. Sieper moves up to the left, trying to give it back out to the left corner to Shanks. That one's knocked away there from Gherkin. 13 on the shot clock. Lady Eagles will inbound. So Shanks will inbound this one to Grayson. Grayson moves inside, guarded by Moxie, hands one off to Sun. Sun, that's a mid-range two, and gets that one to go. A tough shot, and she gets that one to fall.
Yeah, she had a hand in her face, was fading away, and still found it.
35-29, Bowling Green a 6-point lead for the Orange and Brown. Under 2 minutes left to play here in the second. Double team by Sieper and Rowe from Velasco, and it works out for them. And that turnover.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, Velasco was very flustered there. She didn't know what to do. I mean, there's 2 defenders right up on her.
So now 1:45 left to go here in the second. 35-29, Bowling Green. Here's Rowe. Rowe, out wide right, guarded by Velasco, has a screen set from Grayson. Initially moves inside the paint, out wide left to Shank. Shank moves inside, looking for an option. Guarded from Gherkin, still looking for an option. Shank finally gets it to Rowe, top of the key. Velasco, we're on 5 down the shot clock. Rowe gives it back to Shanks as the shot clock is about to expire, and a long three is no good. And Gherkin and Moxie underneath the rim, able to collect that one. Velasco.
Good job by the Falcons to really run that shot clock down.
Ooh,
oh boy.
Tough contact there as Velasco was dribbling the ball up the court, trying to hand this one off to Donahue, and a little bit of collision there. And instead, a foul being called on Sieper. It's going to go on Velasco, as Velasco and Sieper both kind of just collided there, handing off the ball. Much of the dismay of the Stroh Center crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I almost couldn't hear you for a second with all the fans booing behind us.
So Rowe and the Lady Eagles back the other way. Rowe finds Grayson inside. Grayson guarded by Moxie, works inside, one-on-one there underneath, and a nice finish from Moxie. A nice move with her feet, good footwork, and able to finish that one off for left. We are now under a minute left to play here in the second. 48 seconds left and counting. 35-31, Bowling Green. Velasco here for the Orange and Brown. Velasco gives this one back up to Gherkin. A deep three. That one's off the front of the rim and no good. Holding there from Grayson and Sun. And Southern Miss looking back the other way. Down to 32 seconds left. Shot clock still on, 22 seconds. 4-point lead for the Falcons, 35-31. Rowe out to the left wing, guarded by Donahue. Donahue, oh, nice move there from Rowe to move inside. A tough finish and gets that one to roll out.
Got to get those on the fall.
Donahue gets the rebound. Shot clock is off, down to 15 seconds. You have to think Bowling Green's going to hold this one off for the last shot of the game before we go into the halftime. Velasco down to 6 seconds. Fern out to Donahue. Down to 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Fern down to 2. Puts up a shot. The buzzer beater. Fern off the front of the rim. No good as the buzzer sounds. And Moxie can't put that one up in time as they'll go into halftime. Bowling Green 35. Southern Mississippi 31.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Coach Shamil does in the break. You know, what differences he implements. Now, I will say, we mentioned that Moxie versus Grayson is going to be a very interesting matchup. When Grayson made that layup underneath, there was not much contact. It looked like Moxie kind of like backed away. Probably has those 2 personal fouls in the back of her mind, like I don't want to commit another one, So that should be interesting. Of course, Ellis also is going to be in there.
20 minutes. Basketball is in the books. 2 quarters down, 2 quarters to go here. Halftime for the first game of 2024-2025 women's basketball season. The Bowling Green Falcons lead the Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles 35-31. Don't go anywhere. Take a quick break here and recap the first 2-quarter action here on 88.1 on WBGU 88.1 FM. Don't go anywhere.
Know about courage? I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Eating, working, living pain-free. These are a few of the things many of us take for granted. But for many adults with disabilities who are elderly or have serious medical issues, dental care is simply unaffordable. Dental Lifeline Network is looking for dentists who can change this. DLN is asking dentists and their teams to volunteer to just see one of the many patients in need. You can literally change a life. Visit willyouseeone.org to help change one life in your community today.
Freshman forward Maxwell Martin scored his first collegiate goal in the first game between the Falcon hockey team and the Ohio State Buckeyes on Friday, October 25th. Martin scored on a backhand shot from the left side of the goaltender off a pass from Ben Duran. The goal was the only time BG beat a Buckeye goaltender in the 2-game series. Martin previously played 2 years for the Wisconsin Wendigo of the NAHL, his final year finishing 3rd in the league in assists, 1st in goals and points, and being named All-League First Team Forward of the Year and MVP of the NAHL. Heading into the series against Ferris State, Martin has an assist to pair with the goal, 9 shots, and a +2 rating. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends, surprise parties, camps, birthdays. The same way you plan for the important moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Thursday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
BGSU men's soccer wraps up their regular season by heading west to battle Oregon State on Wednesday, November 6th at 10 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview and recap available on bgfalconmedia.com.
Halftime here at the Stroh Center, 35-31 in favor of the Bowling Green Falcons here for the season opener of 2024-2025 women's basketball. The start of college basketball for both men's and women's, one of the best days of the year if you're a basketball fan across the country. I'm Luke Clammer, joined alongside Caden Knapp, welcoming you inside the broadcast. Welcome inside to you for our halftime report. Caden, what did you make of the first 2 quarters of basketball?
When the Bowling Green Falcons had their ups, they had their ups. But when they had their downs, boy, did they have their downs. They ended that half without scoring the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They were only trying to figure out where the threes at. They're only 4-12 taking threes. I mean, I feel like a lot of times when they took a three, it ended up going in favor of Southern Miss because they found a way to score or take advantage of that. And same with like the turnovers. It feels like Southern Miss, anytime they create a turnover or get the ball on a fast break, they're able to take advantage of that. And they ended that half really well, much like they ended the first quarter really well. And something we had just talked about during the break was Erica Porter's only played about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and that's a big part, and definitely the main talking point probably going in to halftime. We didn't have time to really talk about her in the second quarter because obviously the first quarter she picks up 2 quick first fouls. You're probably not going to play her for most of the first quarter, but the second quarter was such fast pace, we didn't really have much time to mention it.
Yeah.
But Erica Porter, like you mentioned, one of the best players on this Falcons team, no doubt about it. One of the best bigs, definitely in the paint down low as well, just doing the dirty work, doing the physical battle. 2 minutes, 33 seconds, that's not a lot of minutes at all, especially. And when you pick up those 2 quick first fouls, you're not going to really see her play a whole lot. It'll be interesting to see how much she plays her in the second half.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, the thing that's kind of more mind-boggling about it is, I mean, we saw Moxie out there with 2 fouls playing quite a bit, looking right now, but she played 9 minutes and 16 seconds. So I don't know what exactly Coach Shamil is doing with that, but I'm sure he has his reason.
We'll see what happens in the second half. Let's go through the stats from the first half. Some of the eye jumpers. Bowling Green, 52% from the floor. University of Southern Mississippi, 41%, just about under 42% from the floor. 4 for 12 for 3 from Bowling Green. And I see what you're trying to say with 3. Kind of felt like they were rushed almost in a way. They weren't getting open looks from 3. While for the Lady Eagles, 0 for 5 from 3. Haven't hit a 3 yet this game. They have to at least hit one in the second half if they want to come away with a victory. Obviously for the free throw lane, 5 for 10 for Bowling Green, 5 for 7 from the charity stripe for the Lady Eagles. Both teams probably not as good as what they want to be, but it's also the first game of the season as well.
Yep.
Rebounds has been a tough battle, 17-16 in favor of Lady Eagles. Turnovers 11-9. Points off of turnovers though, 8 for Bowling Green, 13 for Southern Mississippi, and also bench points 13 for the Lady Eagles and 8 for Bowling Green. And turnovers in general for Bowling Green seemed to have been a problem, especially in that second quarter, Caden.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, there was just some ill-advised passing, and I think really a lot of it was Southern Mississippi brought a lot of pressure, and they continued that, and they were able to swipe the ball away. And I mean, Bowling Green just wasn't, able to take the ball away too much as well. I mean, there was one play where I believe it was Donahue went full out for the steal and ended up allowing Sutton around her. Sutton ended up missing the shot, but still.
And you mentioned as well this game, the score feels very close than the play on the court. It kind of feels like Bowling Green's been pretty comfortably the better team in the court, but it's only a 4-point lead when you look at halftime. And also, if you look at time with the lead, 17 minutes and 19 seconds to be exact for the Orange and Brown in the first 20 minutes, 144 for Southern Mississippi. So they haven't had the lead a lot, but yet they're still in this game.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to their defense, but also just keeping this game close, especially on the offensive end as well.
Yeah. One of the things I wrote down was that, don't force up shots, and then another 2 things I wrote down in the pregame was protect the basketball and play quality basketball. We had mentioned that's what you want to see out of the first games. How are they going to play? And then the final thing I wrote down was win the paint battle. Right now it's 18-18 in scoring in the paint.
And also, I was just about to bring that up actually because you mentioned that was pretty much might be the key decider in this game, points in the paint. So we'll see that stays locked by the end of the game, and a different factor decides the outcome. But right now that's where most of these teams are finding their bread and butter with most of their points, with 18 in the paint. Caden, one last thing for us before we head off into second half action. If you're head coach Fred Chimio, what changes are you making, but what also are you kind of just keeping the same heading into the third quarter?
That's a difficult question. I mean, I'm going to, he had 11 players play in the first half, so I'm going to keep that, rotation, keep the hot hand out there at times. But just, with the players that have higher fouls totals, I want to keep them off the floor when you can, in the sense of, because, we saw Moxie against Grayson late in the half where she kind of backed off because she had those 2 fouls in the back of her mind. And the officials are calling it. So I'm saying, cut off the contact a little bit and, just clean up the sloppy plays. Protect the basketball.
Last note for us, leading scores for both teams. Paige Kohler had 12 points, only Falcon in double digits on 5 for 8 shooting, 2 for 4 from 3. And for the Lady Eagles, Grayson, 12 points on 5 for 8 shooting as well. Only Lady Eagle in double digit points as well. That'll do it from us here for our halftime report. We are just under 4 minutes left for second half action, for third quarter action, I should say, between the Bowling Green Falcons and the Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles here. Bowling Green has a 4-point lead, 35-31 here. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Artie Abrego, and you're listening to 88.1 FM WBGU Bowling Green, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
Your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
In Bowling Green football's 41-17 season opening victory over Fordham on August 29th, junior Justin Pace set a program record with a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown on the first play of the game. Falcon Media Sports Network's Reese Patricus had the call on Falcon Radio.
Go back up and field it on the goal line. Trying to take to the right, got some blocks, got a hole. Peg was down the far sideline, and he's got space in front of him. 10-5, touchdown BG brings back the opening kickoff. What a way to start the season.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
This is the story of a very special woman. Just a few knew about her superpowers. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back here, we're just under a minute left to go here before we begin third quarter action. The Bowling Green Falcons and the Southern Mississippi Eagles here to start off the 2024-2025 women's college basketball season. The Falcons 35, the Lady Eagles 31. Lucas Clymer alongside Caden Knapp welcoming you back inside our broadcast here. 20 minutes down, 20 minutes to go here for the first game of the season. Both teams looking to start 1-0. Caden, if you're Southern Mississippi, we talked a lot about Bowling Green at halftime. What do you change? What do you have to do in order to come away with a victory here.
Well, they did a good job in the second quarter of avoiding the threes. I mean, I believe they only took one in the entirety of the second quarter. And, so stop taking those big threes, continue that. And then on top of that, continue working the paint. Try and get it more to Malia Grayson. She had a really good first half. She led the team with 12 points, scoring, went 5 of 8 from the floor.
So we mentioned Erica Porter only playing over 2 minutes in that first half. She'll get the start of this third quarter. Be that just the same way they started the first 5. Ellis, Donahue, Porter, Kohler, and Velasco. For the starting 5 for Bowling Green. And for the 5 for Southern Mississippi, you have Jean, Sutton, Grayson, Sieper, and Rose. So the same 5 on each side is the way we started, as third quarter is underway here at the Stroh Center. Velasco out to Kohler, top of the key, out to left wing, Donahue. Bowling Green now right to left on your radio dial. Donahue moves inside and can't get that one to fall. Porter there trying to get the rebound. It's held in from Grayson, and a travel called on Grayson.
That was one of those, she had no room to dribble there, and she was trying to move her legs a little bit, and officials caught her.
So Bowling Green will try to take advantage off the turnover. Donahue out to Kohler. Nice screen set from Porter, I should say, and Kohler 3-pointer attempt. Ricochet is in and out as Ellis and Jean were battling for the rebound. And Ellis will be called for
out of bounds.
Don't think it was a foul. Actually, might have just gone out of bounds, and indeed you're right there, partner.
I'll give you there's a lot of contact, though, with Ellis.
It has been a physical game, especially from players like Ellis and Jean all game long. Sutton up the way for the Lady Eagles, guarded by Kohler, and a wide-open three-pointer attempt for the Lady Eagles to start the quarter there from Sieper is no good, and rebounded from the Falcons. Kohler looking to go fast once again. Kohler.
Moving screen.
An illegal screen there from Donahue, and much of the dismay right in front of head coach Fred Shamil. So the fourth turnover going to be tallied on Donahue this game. What'd you see there, Kaden?
Yeah, she just didn't plant her feet, and she was moving along. There's a big reaction from Southern Miss there, too.
Sutton back the other way for the Lady Eagles, moves inside, now out wide to Sieper. Sieper moves inside right by the charity stripe, and a nice mid-range shot there gets that one to go. 35-33, Bowling Green, 8:45 left to play here in the third quarter.
That was a much-needed shot for Sieper. She was 0 of 5 from the floor before that.
Velasco, Ellis, and Kohler working this all the way out to the left, now moving inside to Erica Porter. Porter working onside Grayson. Erica Porter, a nice move to the right. Can get one to go. Grayson falls down, gets her own rebound, and gets that one to go. Erica Porter connects there.
Yeah, talk about taking advantage of that one. Grayson was on the ground for a good 3 or 4 seconds, and they had the advantage there, and were able to get it over her and make that basket.
37-33 Bowling Green, now 8:05 left to play here. Jean and Southern Mississippi come back the other way. Got 10 on the shot clock now. A lot of passing, moving around, not a lot of options open. Now finds Sutton inside, loose pass poked away. 5 on the shot clock now. Sutton now moves inside. Now Sutton guarded by Kohler. A D3 from Sieper is tipped away from Ellis. Another big defensive block.
That's 2 for her today.
Kohler to Velasco, finds Ellis inside. Good defensive play there from Grayson, but nonetheless an easy job from Ellis. Gets that one up and in.
Yeah, good job. Grayson was all up on her. She backed into her and then was able to put it up.
39-33 Bowling Green. 7:30 left to play here in the third quarter. Jean up the court for Southern Mississippi. Sieper out wide left. And an off pass there from Rowe. Rowe was looking to go underneath the basket there with that pass, and just way off the page there with the rest of her teammates. Another turnover, and Bowling Green will take over.
A little bit of miscommunication there, and Grayson is smiling there like she's the closest player to it for Southern Miss.
Velasco signaling the play. Velasco inside to Porter. Porter, long switch to Kohler. Kohler's going to try a deep three, and drains it. Inch perfect from Paige Kohler. Her third 3 of the game. She's up to 15 points, and Bowling Green's up to a 9-point lead.
What a big shot, but I know everyone's looking at the shot and how great that is. We got to give props to the pass there. It was a beautiful pass to set up Kohler, and she was able to make that.
Timeout called. Southern Mississippi. Full timeout. We'll take it with them. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee, craft beer, and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. Don't go anywhere. The Bowling Green Falcons lead Southern Mississippi 42-33.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X. Back here, 7 minutes left to play exact. And here in the third quarter here at the Stroh Center, Bowling Green 42, Southern Mississippi 33 here in the season opener for both these teams in the 2024-2025 women's basketball season. Loose climber, Caden Knapp. You had an interesting fact a little bit about Southern Mississippi while we were off the air.
Yeah, they've won 11 consecutive games in the month of November, including a 7-0 start last year and a win against ranked Ole Miss. So.
Definitely a quality Sun Belt team that probably isn't playing up their full potential this game as well. And you mentioned that win over ranked Ole Miss. They play against tough opponents. I mean, the South, they're very good basketball teams in the South as well. So a lot of tough competition. Down by 9 right here as well.
Another interesting thing is, I mean, this is just their 18th time starting a season on the road.
So, last time we left off, a timeout call from Southern Mississippi, so they'll inbound the ball.
No. And, I mean, the Falcons don't know when they're going to see Southern Mississippi again either, because the SBC MAC contract ends after this year, possibly.
It's actually reported today that they just had an extension to the 2026-2027 season this year, so a couple more years of basketball for the MAC and Sun Belt Challenge. Back underway here, and another travel called on Grayson as she moved inside the paint with Erica Porter. So that's another turnover in this third quarter from Southern Mississippi. Another turnover that's hurt them.
Not too often you see a kickball violation, Lucas.
No, it is not indeed. As Bowling Green trying to inbound this one, Ellis, and just a nice little kickball action, so they'll do it again.
Notice how it's completely flipped, too. Bowling Green ended the last half scoreless through the last 2:30. Now you have Southern Mississippi, who hasn't scored in 2:03.
Bowling Green able to play out of the press. Velasco out to the right, down low Porter, feeds it back to Velasco and back to Ellis. Ellis back to Porter. This is nice passing from Bowling Green. Got an 8 on the shot clock now and counting. Now down to 5. Velasco puts up a tough shot, almost got that one to fall. A lot of contact there from Lady Eagle. And Velasco is fouled there.
She was contacted from behind and front.
They'll tag Morgan Sieper with that foul, her second personal.
And I mean, as I said earlier, if you're going to foul, might as well foul them hard enough that they can't make the shot, but obviously not so hard you hurt the player.
Well, she almost made that shot there.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty impressive. So Velasco will go to the line again.
I feel like every time they get fouled shooting, and there's like a magnet in the middle of the net.
The team is now 6 for 11 from free throw lanes as Velasco able to get that one to fall. A 10-point lead now for Bowling Green, 43-33, orange and brown.
Only Falcon in the All-MAC first team preseason, Velasco.
2 for 2 there from the line, 44-33, Bowling Green, 6:18 left to play here in the third quarter. Sutton back the other way for Southern Mississippi, trying to get something going what has been a bad offensive third quarter for them thus far. Sutton guarded by Ellis. Tough defensive play there. Off the ball foul is going to be called there. We'll see what Falcon they get there. I believe they're going to get Might be Paige Kohler. A little bit off the ball foul. So that'll be Erica Porter. Meanwhile, so that's her third personal foul.
See if Coach Shamil subs her out. Lauren Gherkin's over there at the scorer's table.
Would think you're correct. Lauren Gherkin immediately got up.
Now, I will say the official put up 2 twos, even though Gherkin was not in the game. That kind of threw me off for a second.
So Shamil will call the team over here, and it looks like they might review the play to see who they'll tag the foul to, or see maybe
technical, maybe.
Maybe as well. It could be a technical foul. Don't know if something was said as well.
Or I meant flagrant. I'm sorry, or something like that. You know.
Technical flagrant.
Both are bad.
Both are not good, regardless. As the official will go over to our PA announcer here at the show center. So, as the officials look to see who they can tag this foul to, a timeout on the court, and we'll take it with them real quick. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brew Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. Bowling Green 44, Southern Mississippi 33. Don't go anywhere.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
After a 20-win season last year, BGSU men's basketball begins their second season under Todd Simon on the road against Southern Miss on Monday, November 4th at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview and recap available on bgfalconmedia.com.
See a foul.
So back here at the show center, Bowling Green 44, Southern Mississippi 33, 11-point lead for the Orange and Brown. We left off here, a little bit of a confusion for the officiating and for the Bowling Green. A call that was supposedly on Bowling Green. Don't quite know who is on just yet. They're still discussing it over. Lucas Clammer, Caden Knapp alongside with you here. We got 6:05 left to go here in the third quarter for an 11-point lead for the Orange and Brown.
This is definitely interesting. You know, and as we were talking about in break, what if they didn't see a foul?
Could change their mind as well. Both teams are still huddled, and
we'll get an explanation from the official.
And I do believe the official is confirming the foul was on Erica Porter, 32. We'll double confirm that here in a couple of seconds. Bowling Green's on a 9-0 run here in the last 2:43. Southern Mississippi scores in the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
Now Erica Porter's probably not going to be on the floor. Yep, she's not.
So, like we mentioned, Porter was tagged with that foul. So Gherkin will come in. 6 points, hit 2 threes in her first collegiate debut for Bowling Green. There's an inbound pass there from Sun. Off the rim there from Sieper. Ellis trying to get the rebound and eventually does. Ellis out to Velasco. Now Bowling Green looking to break fast. Velasco moves inside looking for Donahue. Donahue comes back to get it in the right wing. Ellis now moves inside the paint. Ellis has that ball knocked away, rolls out. We'll see whose ball it is. It's going to be Bowling Green with 16 seconds left on the shot clock.
A lot going on in a short period of time, that possession, and good breather for both teams.
44-33 Bowling Green, 5:46 left to play here. Velasco inbounds this one. Inbounds one to Gherkin. Gherkin top of the key, surveys her options, goes all the way out to the right, now to Donahue. Donahue getting past Gene momentarily and has that one poked away from Manley. And now Southern Mississippi the other way. Sun puts that one up. Good defensive play from the Falcons. Has that one knocked away. Ellis grabs it on the loose ball. And a jump ball will be called. As Gene and Ellis there, just two physical, scrappy defensive players there trying to get the rebound.
Good job also not going over the top with it. I mean, there's all ball from both sides. They're like, oh, no, it's mine, no, it's mine. That's why we have the possession arrow in college basketball.
Possession arrow, and will favor Southern Mississippi. So we'll go down as a steal for Jean. The 4 steals. We'll inbound this one back to Jean. Jean inside the paint, working on Ellis. Ellis picks that one away, looking for Grayson. Gets it back to Jean and rejected by Taya Ellis. Oh my!
A good friend of mine used to say, get that weak stuff out of there. What a play by Ellis. I mean, she just whacked that away, and everyone was just in awe with that.
So Ellis, after the rejection, will come out for a quick breather. So in comes Moxley underneath the rim. This defensive possession. Shot clock resets, 5:20. Jean out to the right corner. Sutton now moves inside. Grayson guarded by Moxley. Nice spin move there from Moxley, and they're going to say, did she step out of bounds? Or they might think saying she's on a foul, but regardless, Bowling Green takes over. And
I think she stepped on the baseline.
Yep. Go down as a Grayson turnover. And you know what that means. You probably stepped over the baseline when you're that close underneath.
Good job by BG using that as an extra defender.
Great way to break out of the press for Bowling Green, and Kohler goes up hard. And a foul there on Grayson.
Coach Ramil wants a flagrant or technical, I believe.
Was a hard foul there on Grayson. Bowling Green did very well there to build out of the press from Ellis, Donahue, and Velasco. Velasco did well there for a long, almost full court pass for Kohler. Kohler went up with her left. Way off the arm of Grayson there. That was a hard challenge for sure.
I think Southern Miss is getting a little frustrated.
It has not been a third quarter. Good third quarter for them.
Yeah,
for sure.
They haven't scored in 3 minutes and 40 seconds, Lucas. 9-0 run for the Falcons as well during that span.
So 44-33 Bowling Green, and I believe this one is going to be looked at to see if this is something more than just a personal foul on Grayson. You see they charge her with a flagrant or...
Now, while we have a break, Coach Shamil's over there in his bright orange jacket. What do you think of it, Lucas?
Well, both basketball coaches, I will say here, Fred Shamil in his second year, and on the men's side, who right now are playing their season opener against Southern Mississippi as well in Mississippi, playing as well. Both coaches are very well dressed, both very well spirited in the Bowling Green colors, and Todd Simon's got a very nice orange jacket that's been pretty well known now over the community over the last year as well. But Fred Shamil has a nice orange jacket as well, trying to compete with Todd Simon as well. Very nice shoes as well, little orange shoes. Don't quite know. I'm not a shoe guy, so I don't quite know what brand those are, but look pretty nice.
Yeah, they do. Indeed. Going all out for the season opener.
Have to indeed. Bowling Green looking to start 1-0 here at home. With 5:08 left in the third quarter. Timeout here on the floor. Timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com as the officials will review this play. We'll stay right here.
Now, an interesting article I read was about Malia Grayson. She signed an NIL deal with her high school, which was Hattiesburg High School, and she was one of the first 2 players to ever become an NIL ambassador. Lauren Jones in your sport, soccer, Lucas, also signed a deal with that. And they help out in their community, and that article just really explained what they did. And, NIL, big thing, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
Every year it gets bigger for sure, especially besides college football. College basketball definitely is the second biggest sport where NIL has the most impact on players, especially in transfer portal as well. Score update from our other teams. Bowling Green men's team right now down 27-23 in Mississippi to the Southern Mississippi Eagles in the second year of the Todd Simon era as well. Both teams, a lot of new faces right here. Bowling Green head coach Fred Shamil welcoming 8 new players. Todd Simon's squad welcoming pretty much a whole new roster besides a handful of players as well.
Oh, also, the Lady Eagles have won 11 consecutive openers. So
that's at
streaks everywhere for them. We're digging deep into our notes for this break.
Absolutely, for sure. And right now, let's talk more about Southern Mississippi. As the official is coming over to the desk.
I think they said technical or flagrant. So I believe it's a flagrant because they're going to get 2 shots and they'll get the ball back.
Indeed, you're right. And the shot clock will reset as well.
Both teams have committed 12 total fouls this game, by the way.
So her first technical foul for Grayson.
Now, an interesting thing is, I mean, when you have a technical or flagrant free throw, you're the only one out there shooting. It feels like there's a little bit more pressure because everyone's just staring at you, and then if you're at home, everyone just goes silent.
Velasco hits the first one from the charity stripe, and the second one is up and good. So 2 for 2 there from the technical foul from Grayson, so a successful trip for Bowling Green. Now 46-33 orange and brown with 5 of 8 left to play here in the third quarter. Kohler leads the team in points right now, 15 points and 6 from 10 shooting. She's in contention for our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game, Amy Velasco, who hit down those 2 free throws, 11 points, as well as Bowling Green. Back on the prowl once again. Kohler takes on 2 Lady Eagles, has the ball knocked away loose, has a loose ball in the middle. On the floor there, Kohler with Evans. Jump ball will favor Bowling Green. With 14 on the shot clock here, 4:52 left to go in the third quarter. Bowling Green will have a chance as Porter comes in for Ellis.
Trying to get a little bit of a break for Ellis, breather.
Velasco back to Porter, and Porter can't get that one to go on the initial shot. Gherkin's first shot no good, gets the second one, and the third bite of the apple off the glass and in. Lauren Gherkin now up to 8 points, 48-33, Bowling Green.
You know what they say, third time's a charm. Without Grayson on the floor, Southern Miss is missing a major tall player.
And a charge is going to be called on Manly as Southern Mississippi look to go quick, and Paige Kohler with great defensive work right there draws the foul.
This run has now stretched to 13-0 over the last 4-13. This game was so close, and I mean, we've been saying it over and over. This game feels like it's just not close, but it was for a long time, and right now Falcons have that big 15-point lead.
Bowling Green has outshot Southern Mississippi 13-2 in this third quarter. It's been a disastrous third quarter for them on the defensive end as Kohler there takes contact again as Sun almost intercepted that pass from Lauren Gherkin, and Sun will draw the first personal foul. That was almost the second time Kohler got hit in the face. We saw her go down already once today on the floor. That was close.
I haven't noticed a bandage or anything on her face, so they must have gotten the bleeding cleaned up very quickly.
So in this one, Velasco hands it off to Donahue. Donahue top of the key out to the right way. Paige Kohler's got a wide open look for 3. Paige Kohler, no good, and rebounded from Manly. So Manly the other way for Bowling Green. There, a loose pass there, picked up there from Donahue and tripped up there from Sun, and she lands on the basketball on her side as she goes down there. So that's not going to feel good in the morning, probably for the freshman.
Yeah, Southern Miss was trying to go a little up-tempo that possession, and Falcons stayed in their place and drew the foul.
That was Donahue once again kind of hiding a little bit behind a Southern Mississippi player. Kind of came out of nowhere, poked that one away, and kind of just landed on the ball there on her side. That doesn't usually feel good. So Donahue will go to the line off the foul. Donahue.
Bonus.
Just 1 point this game, 0 for 2 for shooting, but 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. Looking to get 2 points and can't get that first one to go.
So for every defensive foul from here on out for Southern Miss, the Falcons will go to the free throw line.
Definitely a big point to know. It's been a very physical third quarter. Donahue there 0 for 2 as that pass is blocked off the face of Ellis there. So a turnover for Southern Mississippi again. The defensive work rate from Ellis and Donahue and the whole Bowling Green Falcons has created a lot of turnovers, especially in this third quarter as they're on the prowl once again. 60 on the shot clock. Kohler top of the key. Guarded by Rowe, now out to the right. Kohler. Switches sides, goes top of the key. Kohler. Still looking for an option. Shot clock down to 5. Looks for Gherkin. Gherkin pump fakes. Finds Ellis. Ellis guarded by 2. Lady Eagles, no shot given as Sieper and So Mississippi go back the other way on the fast break. Can't get that one to go. Sieber gets the ball back, and a tough shot there from a difficult angle, and gets that one to fall. So only the second basket made of this third quarter from Southern Mississippi. 48-35, 3:25 left to play.
They finally got the much-needed points. Little ping-ponging with the basketball, too. Back and forth passing.
Glasgow Donahue out to the right corner. Lauren Gherkin for three. That one ricochets in and out. Good look. Can't get it on the fall. Sutton and the Lady Eagles go back that way. Sutton finds an open lane, and that one goes to the glass. It gets that one to fall. 48-37. Now Bowling Green. Now 2:50 left to play in the third quarter. A little bit of momentum brewing for Southern Mississippi.
A pair of much-needed shots for Southern Miss. You know, after going almost 4 minutes without scoring, and Coach Emile knows that this is a big spot in the game. Just call a timeout.
Timeout on the floor for Bowling Green, a full timeout. So with this timeout, we'll take it with them. And this timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee, craft beer, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. The Bowling Green Falcons 48, the Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles 37. 11-point lead for the Bowling Green Falcons. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
So a quick timeout, nonetheless, from Fred Shamil back in play as Porter finds Lauren Gherkin and finishes with the left hand. So Bowling Green's up now to a 50-piece, 50-37 Bowling Green with 2:25 left to play here in the third quarter as Southern Mississippi comes back the other way on the offensive floor.
Right now, the Falcons outscoring the Lady Eagles 26-22 in the paint.
So whistle called there on Bowling Green as Porter will come out. Shamil giving her instructions. That's Erica Porter's fourth personal foul as Moxie will check back in. Jean was checked in as well. Jean trying to get the ball back out the top of the key. Sieper back out to Jean, top of the key, guarded by Donahue, moves inside, pass down low to Grayson. 4 Falcons in the area. Still able to put the shot up there, but a lot of contact. She'll draw the foul and go to the cherry stripe.
Yeah, good job by Grayson there. You know, going up in a way where you're kind of drawing the contact and ensuring that you get at least 2 free throws.
So Grayson will go to the line as Ellis will check back in for Lauren Gherkin.
Interesting they allowed the Falcons to substitute before the first free throw rather than after.
So is Grayson. Knocks down her first attempt. She's up to 13 points, leads the Lady Eagles 3 for 3 from the line. 3 rebounds along with 5 for 8 shooting on 18 minutes played. Brooke Simpson will look to check in for the second time this game momentarily. Right after Grayson finishes her trip from the line.
Grayson averaged 12.6 points per game last year.
And we'll knock down that second one. So now 50-39 Bowling Green. So back down to an 11-point lead for the Orange and Brown as Kohler will check out for Brooke Simpson.
You know, another thing about Malia Grayson is this is her 60th consecutive game that she's played in.
Incredible stretch, incredible health, and incredible run of form for Grayson, one of the most important players for this team, as Simpson comes back that way for Bowling Green. Moxie down low there, guarded by Grayson. Got the shot up there, but got the contact and earns the foul as going to get this one on Trinity Rowe rather than Grayson. 2 Lady Eagles in the area, so that's going to be Rowe's third personal foul.
Rowe just has 2 points today, 1 of 4 from the floor. the Falcons are really welcoming her to collegiate play.
So Moxie will go to the free throw line. Her first attempt is good. Nothing but net there. 51-39 Bowling Green. Under 2 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. Moxie's second attempt has that one ricochet in and out. Picked up here from Sutton. Sutton, guarded by Simpson, hands this one off to Jean. Jean to Grayson. Grayson to Sutton. Top of the key. Gives it back to Grayson. Grayson, a tough shot there to the right wing. That one's no good. Trying to hold in the rebounds. Bowling Green. Eventually Ellis collects.
Grayson just put a little too much power on that shot.
Here's Velasco. Ellis, Donahue, back up to left wing. Simpson. Simpson inside. Moxley. Moxley to Donahue. Donahue gets a screen from Ellis. Drives inside. Tough shot there. No good. A lot of contact. No foul. Empty possession for Bowling Green. 1:10 left. 51-39 Bowling Green. Deep three here from Sieper. No good. And rebounded there from Donahue. Still no three hit from Southern Mississippi. Make it 0 for 8 on the game. Velasco down to the byline. Gives it to Moxie. Moxie. A lot of contact there with Sutton and Grayson. And draws a foul.
Yeah, because of that flagrant foul by Grayson, I mean, she's definitely being watched a little more and not given as much leeway. She's asking for an explanation right now, but this has been a game of a lot of fouls. 16 by the Falcons, 14 by the Falcons, 16 by the Lady Eagles.
And surprisingly, only one player, and that's Erica Porter for Bowling Green, is on 4 personal fouls, so she's one away from fouling out. Everyone else is on either 3 or 2. A lot of 3s and a lot of 2s when we go down the list for Southern Mississippi on fouls. Emily Cecil comes in for Amy Velasco. His first attempt there from Moxie is up and no good. Moxie's second attempt, and she gets that one to fall. So 52-39 now Bowling Green. 13-point lead for the Falcons. 53 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Sutton, guarded by Simpson. Sutton out wide right. Here's Manley. Guarded by Donahue. Manley back to Sutton. Sutton works inside Simpson. Got the first shot to block, but seeing a lot of contact there, and a whistle going to be called on the freshman.
Yeah, that was a close one. Could have gone either way. Officials elected to blow their whistles. But they've really been spreading the wealth with who all's been picking up the fouls. As we kind of said, only one player is one foul away from fouling out, and that's Porter.
Evans comes in for Grayson. Paige Cord checks in for Johnny Donahue as well before this free throw attempt from Sutton. Zickyville getting loud, trying to disrupt the shooter and do their job off the front of the rim, and no good.
Now, these next few minutes, even heading into the fourth quarter, are really going to decide this game, I believe, especially with there being a 13-point deficit.
Sutton trying to make it 50% from the line, and she can, and that one's in and out as well. Rebound there from Sutton, gets her own rebound for 2. Miss Ellis there comes up. And Sutton draws another foul. Ellis put her hands up, but officials say too much contact.
Yeah. That was one of those, Sutton started out low, and went up from there to take her shot, and, it's a high percentage that you're going to get a foul there. Because, even if your hands are perfectly straight up, chances are you're going to make contact.
Sutton's first attempt, and a little bit of deja vu, but this time she drains it.
I will say the Falcons have just not finished quarters well today. They're one of their last 4.
It definitely has been a trend this game where now you see the third quarter, last couple minutes have been kind of shaky, especially on the defensive end. Sutton's second attempt, that one ricochets in and out. Gets her own rebound yet again from the charity stripe, but can't keep the ball in play. Bowling Green will take over.
back-to-back rebounds off of missed free throws for her, and that one just kind of took her out of bounds, though.
Yep. 52-40, Bowling Green a 12-point lead. 38 seconds left to play. 35 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Ellis inbounds to Cecil. Kohler. Guarded by Jean, a little bit of high press from Southern Miss, able to build out of it. Cecil, back to Kohler. 23 seconds, shot clock at 18. Kohler to Moxie. Moxie. Going back to Cecil. Cecil out the right for Kohler. Guarded by Jean, shot clock down to 6. Down to 5, Kohler trips up on the ball. Loose ball given up there, and a jump ball. Just a little slip there as Jean and Manley were kind of closing in on Kohler there. Top of the key, it'll be a turnover, and possession error will favor Southern Mississippi. So 7 seconds left, 52-40 Bowling Green. They'll have some defending to do before we head into the fourth.
Kohler had a nice lane to the hoop there, too. That's what makes that slip a little worse there for her. Good job by Southern Miss crashing into the ball and saying, oh, she's on the ground. If I put my hands on the ball, I get the ball back because we have the possession row.
Simpson guards back out to Sun, down to 5. 4-3. Drives inside. How about Emily Cecil standing in the paint, but
blocking foul.
Saying a blocking foul. That looked like she stood her ground a little bit there, but maybe just a little too much there. So Emily Cecil will be charged with her second personal foul.
Now both teams in the bonus, not that it really matters with only 3 seconds to play in the third.
I think the word physical would be an understatement to describe this game as well. A lot of fouls. First game of the season. Both teams, a lot of emotion, a lot of energy. Want to get off to a good start. Want to get off to 1-0. So guess who's at the charity stripe once again? It's Sutton. And his first attempt that time with ricochets in and out. She's now 1 for 7 from the free throw line.
It has just not been her night.
But despite that, last 2 times she's been the charity stripe, she's gotten her rebounds both a couple times. She leads the team with 6 on the night. We'll see if she can make it 2 for 8. And she can't. 1 for 8 there, in and out, but Evans gets the rebound there. That attempt rolls in and out, and as the buzzer sounds, the Bowling Green defense stands strong as Evans on that putback there couldn't get that one to fall. So Bowling Green Falcons have a 12-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, 52-40 in favor of the Orange and Brown. We have 10 more minutes left to play here for the first game of 2024-2025 women's basketball season. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Looking for a BGSU Athletics talk radio show? Tune into the Zig Zone every Sunday at 4 p.m., where a panel of Falcon Media Sports Network members discuss the hottest BG sports topics. Only on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here at the Stroh Center, Bowling Green 52, Southern Mississippi 40, as we begin the fourth quarter here for the opening game of the 2024-2025 Bowling Green women's basketball season. Moose Clammer joined alongside Caden Knapp. Caden, well, right in front of us right now, we have a fan attempting a full court golf shot that we've seen. We're trying over the years in the Stroh Center. Unfortunately, you can't get that one in the fall. But let's focus back on the action of what we had the previous 3 quarters. Not quite a good third quarter for Southern Mississippi. Outscored 17-9 in that third quarter. Probably the most physical quarter out of the three we've seen thus far. What did you make?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it was very physical. Both teams reached the bonus at one point or another. I mean, we had a flagrant foul going on there. The Falcons just were so good, though, for the first 80%, so 8 minutes of that quarter. But the last 2 minutes was just not their time. And as you said, they continued with that trend of, ending in quarter not well. Good news for them is that they start this fourth quarter with the basketball, so they have a chance to kind of make it right and set a statement for how that fourth quarter is going to go, because these next few minutes are really going to decide this basketball game, especially with that 12-point lead.
Absolutely. If Southern Mississippi want to complete a comeback, they got to complete it now as ball is back in play. Velasco inbounds to Ellis, back to Porter inside the paint. Erica Porter looking for Ellis. Can't get that one to go. Is tipped off, and Bowling Green will inbound the ball. It's the same five as they started this game. Velasco, Donahue, Ellis, Porter, and Kohler. Same five as well for Southern Mississippi. Ellis inbounds this one. Ellis. Kohler. Thought about a three. Pump fake there. Had Rowe and Jean both crashing. Kohler finds Kohler looking to switch this one. Kohler takes the ball. Takes a bump there and a charge there.
That's it for Porter.
And that's going to be it for Erica Porter this game there. That's a pretty hefty charge there on Grayson there. And
I was just getting ready to say, I'm like, Porter's out there with 4 fouls. If you're Southern Miss, you should be going full bore at her, trying to get her to that 5 foul. And in that situation, I mean, you saw Grayson just kind of set up, be like in that stance of, oh, if I'm going to fall over, I'm going to try and get the ref to call it on Porter.
So Porter's day is done. 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. A 2 for 4 shooting for the player who's picked second team All-MAC in the preseason polls. So not quite the start of the season as she wanted, but some Mississippi come back the other way, and
offensive foul
will be called. So another empty possession for some Mississippi. A chance there to capitalize and won't do so. So Lauren Gherkin will check in for Porter. Gherkin long switch to the right side here. Kohler moves inside right, has the ball knocked away and scooped up from Sutton. Sutton out wide to the right. Jean on the fast break. Jean moves inside. Donahue get her hands up. That one just bounced in and out of the hoop. Don't know how that one didn't fall. But another empty possession from Southern Mississippi.
Yeah, that one looked like it was 100% going to go in. Did not, and good job at Bowling Green at holding their ground and picking up the defensive board.
Donahue, Velasco. Out to Ellis. Ellis, nice little fake. Moves inside the paint, guarded by Grayson there. Puts up a highly contested shot there. Can't that one the fall, and Rowe gets up the rebound.
Back-to-back contested shots on both sides, no whistle.
How about Grayson trying to deep three? That one's off the mouth of the rim. Kohler can't hold in the rebound, and Rowe slid that one away, and a little floater off the left hand gets that one to go down to 10.
We saw a little bit of history there. That was the first time that Grayson had ever attempted a three at the collegiate level.
Well, how about that from Grayson? The first time for everything. 52-42 Bowling Green, 8:08 left to play here in this game, and Ellis caught a little sleep in there. Jean almost picked that one off, and Kohler's going to try 3 in the left corner and gets that one to go. 4 for 8 now from 3, and 18 points for Paige Kohler.
What a shot there, much needed for the Falcons. All about the response.
So Mississippi back the other way. Grayson try to get her inside once again. A whistle blown. And it will be another foul on Bowling Green as Moxie will check into this game. Taya Ellis will check out. It's been a very good game for Taya Ellis.
Yes.
Especially for a player who went through so much last season and now getting to start the year, and with putting in a great performance. 7 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks for Bowling Green.
And she's just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore as well as Southern Mississippi. Inbounds this one back in. Evans' shot is no good, and hold in from Gherkin and gives this one to Velasco. Velasco moves inside. Oh, looking back door for Kohler. Can't get one to go.
Such a good passer. That one didn't work out for it, though.
And Syper trying a deep 3. Can't that one to fall, and Sutton.
Now a foul. Now, I will say, Syper was so wide open there that you almost had to take that 3. But now they're 0 of 10, though, from the three-point line, and they're just shot 35% in total.
Yeah, and a team that doesn't really attempt a lot of three-pointers, but when you do, you got to make them fall. And 0 for 10 hasn't been good enough beyond the arc. As Sutton going to the charity stripe once more. Can't get that one to fall either. And ricochets in and out. Sutton for take number 2, and that one ricochets in and out. Make it 1 for 10 from the free throw line.
Oh, but somehow she got it back, though. That's, oh, wow.
7 rebounds now, leads the team. Just can't get those shots to fall from the line. How about Grayson attempting another 3? That one's off the front of the rim once again. Rebound for Evans, back to Grayson. Foul called on Moxley.
For the record, that's now the 3rd time that Sutton somehow found herself with a basketball after missing a free throw.
It's pretty impressive, for sure. It has a knack for timing that run to perfection, trying to steal that ball. So Grayson now will go to the line. 14 points, leads the team, 4 for 4 from the line. Trying to go 5 for 5, and she does it. Now 54-43, Bowling Green lead down to 11.
Is it just me, or does it feel like this is completely flipped, and all of a sudden it feels like it's closer than it is?
Grayson's second attempt. Got it there. So she's 6 for 6 from the line, now up to 16 points. Lika down to 10, 54-44 Bowling Green. And you're seeing a little bit of high press now for Southern Mississippi. Down to 7 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. Donahue drives forward on the fast break. Can't get that one to go. And to be honest, another foul is called.
A very faint whistle with that one, too. Kind of had to think was that a whistle I heard? Now, I do see what Southern Miss is trying to do here, trying to force BG into making quick decisions, which that's when they've ran into the mistakes.
So Donahue, first attempt for the charity stripe is good, so now she's up to 2 points. To quote Lexi Fleming in our season preview, that did a very good job writing Caden.
Thank you.
Nay's defense is insane, and I think you've seen that a lot this game so far. And 3 points now, perfect chip from the line, now 56-44 Bowling Green. 6:45 left to play here in this one.
She also said that Donahue's her favorite player, or most player she's most excited to watch.
For sure, as a three-pointer attempt there from Rowe is off the mark, no good, and Bowling Green comes away with it. Velasco, back the other way for the orange and brown. Velasco, out wide to Gherkin. Lauren Gherkin from 3 off the front of the rim and gets some help from the backboard and gets that one to fall.
You know what? It doesn't always have to look pretty as long as it finds its way through that net.
And with that 3, make it now a 15-point lead for the orange and brown. One of the largest leads they had in this game as well. The timeout called on the court. First timeout, second full timeout for Southern Mississippi. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, featuring coffee and craft beer, and serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll take this timeout with them. A 50-point lead for the orange and brown. Don't go anywhere.
What is hope? Hope to me was just that he would get to come home. I had no idea how hard it would be once he got back.
I wish she'd stop drinking so much. She thinks it's helping, but it's not.
I act like I don't care if he comes to my games, but I hope he does.
I hoped he'd get help. He told me to stop asking. I didn't. Then one day he asked for a ride.
Hope is knowing there are other families just like yours, that the veterans they love got help and recovered. Go to maketheconnection.net and turn hope into action.
Hey, I'm Cam North, and you're listening to 88.1 FM WBGU Bowling Green, home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
BGSU men's soccer wraps up their regular season by heading west to battle Oregon State on Wednesday, November 6th at 10 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview and recap available on bgfalconmedia.com.
Bowling Green 59, Southern Mississippi 44 here with 6 minutes and 16 seconds left to play here in the first game of the 2024-2025 women's basketball season. Lucas Clymer, Kaden Knapp, been alongside with you all for this one here, and almost halfway through down the fourth quarter here. Kaden, what do you like to see for Bowling Green to close this one out?
Don't make big mistakes. Let's keep it simple there with that. I mean, again, they've started off this quarter well. They started off yet another quarter well. Continue that, you know. They have this 15-point lead. They can just play good quality basketball for the next 2 or 3 minutes. It'll be too late for Southern Miss to make a comeback. And Lucas, who do you think is our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game so far?
We've had a lot of good options this game, I should say. But if my vote, I think Paige Kohler's got to be up there as well. Leads the team in points, 17 points, but more so 3 for 7 from 3 as well. Been a very good floor general as well. Her passing's been very good as well. What would say you?
I have to agree with you, and I also think Taya Ellis is up there with. She's made some really good plays. It'll be interesting to see who gets it.
We will see here. Mentioned post game, we'll have assistant coach John Nicolay in his first game with Bowling Green for post game as. So Mississippi tries a 3 from Jean. Can't get that one to fall, so make that 0 for 13 from 3-point range this game for the Lady Eagles. But a foul's going to be called on Bowling Green, and we'll see who they tag this one for.
I'm going to say whoever wins this game is still not going to have like that, yes, we won. No, at practice, coaches are going to be like cracking down, being like, okay, we did this, and incorrectly. We need to correct it.
Sieper was a victim of that foul, so she'll go to the cherry stripe, knocks down the first one. 59-45 Bowling Green. And Sieper knocks down the second. As we mentioned, assistant coach John Nicolay will be alongside for our post-game show, along with our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink Guide player of the game, which will probably be Paige Kohler or Taya Ellis. We'll see how this one finishes out.
Big change for Coach Nicolay. I mean, we spent the last 11 years with Youngstown State. Was the interim head coach last year. Coach Shamil said he was a huge impact and big that he got over here.
The interim head coach at Youngstown State, Velasco, finds Lauren Gergen top of the key. Lauren Gergen's 3, no good. Rebounded there from Harrison, who's checked into the game for Bowling Green. Can't get that one to fall, though. Sieper and Bowling Green come back the other way. Sutton out wide left to row. On the floor, Ellis, Harrison, Gherkin, Velasco, and Kohler. Sutton working on Ellis, moves inside. Nice pass to find Grayson in the paint. No look pass a little bit.
Yeah, completely fooled the Falcons, and Grayson just so great in the paint. Is able to float that over the defense.
Harrison, Velasco, back up to Gherkin. 59-48 Bowling Green, 5:10 left to play. 5 minutes now left in the fourth quarter. Foul going to be called once more. Bowling Green will inbound the ball. 21 seconds left on the shot clock.
I will say there's been long stretches where both teams are just using a lot of that shot clock, and then there's been stretches where they're using like 5 seconds.
Ellis gets his one, a lot of contact with Jean and Grayson. King of that one the fall. Jean's got a full head of steam, come back the other way, guarded by Kohler. Nice spin move from Jean on the left hand, and she gets that one to fall.
Nice floater in the middle of the paint.
59-50 Bowling Green lead, cut down to just 9. 4:40 left to play. Nice job for Bowling Green to build out of the press. Harrison tries a shot, no good. Rebounded from Ellis. And the second putback shot there gets that one to go. Ellis up to 9 points. And Ellis will fall to the court.
5 on 4.
And Grayson and the Lady Eagles back the other way. Will take advantage of a man down. For Southern Mississippi, and she's holding kind of that left knee, thigh region. Don't know if she cramped up there or maybe fell awkwardly on that knee, but Ellis is still down.
Not a good thing to see.
A player who fought through so much last season to fight back to this point, to come back to even start beginning this year. So with 4:22 left to play here, Bowling Green, the 9-point lead, 61-52 over Southern Mississippi. Ellis will be checked at, trying to get help to her feet. And able to get helped off there, and she'll walk off on her own power.
Good to see that she's able to get up. I'd assume her night would be over, though.
Yep, Ellis is going to head to the locker room with 4:23 left to play in the fourth quarter, so her night's most likely done. 9 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks. And a great sound X-Factor type performance from the sophomore. Jasmine Fern will come into the game. Fern inbounds one to Velasco, and looking to get back this one to Cyper, and Cyper kind of kicked the ball right in front of the Ziggyville and hit one of the Bowling Green fans in the face.
A lot of traffic in the BG backcourt, too. All 10 players in that area.
Velasco again, and a turnover on Bowling Green's own defensive end, and Jean almost looking to pounce and King of that one to fall, but a foul called. This one is not over, Caden. 61-52, down 9, and Jean's got a chance here to add a couple more points.
Yeah, 3-possession game, and like I kind of said, I mean, like, the mistakes and the pressing has really done wonders for Southern Miss these last few minutes.
Jean's first attempt is good. Nothing but net there. 61-53, now an 8-point lead for Bowling Green. 4:16 left to play.
There's still plenty of time left, too.
Jean once more, off the front of the rim. Manley able to get the rebound. Able to beat Gherkin there to that ball. Rowe, guarded by Velasco, top of the key. 12 on the shot clock. Rowe moves inside. Guarded by Fern, able to find Manley wide open in the corner. Manley in a travel.
Yeah, she hesitated there, and it looked like as soon as she got the ball, she's like, do I want to take the wide open three or do I want to go with it? And she moved her feet.
So a turnover, once again from Manley. And Fern will inbound this one. Velasco bounce pass to Kohler, trying to build out of this press from Southern Mississippi. Able to do so. Kohler gives us one to Velasco. Great work from the two guards. Velasco drives inside, blocked there from Grayson. Gherkin kicks it out wide in the corner, and Jasmine Fern from three, and she buries it.
A much-needed three there for the Falcons to give them back the momentum.
Her first points of the night, and how big those points could be. 64-53 Bowling Green. 33 minutes and 30 seconds left, and a turnover from Rowe. Cole on the other way to Donahue on the fast break, and she converts.
And Southern Miss only has one timeout left, so they're not going to use it here, even though I would.
66-53 left in this one. Jean to Cyper. Cyper back to Jean. Kohler. Guards are inside. A lot of contact. Jean gets that one to fall. And a charge. Great defensive work from Kohler.
What a great series of events for the Bowling Green Falcons. Yes, it's only a 5-0 run, but it feels like so much more than that at the moment. Much needed.
Fern will inbound this one.
Also, Fern with that last shot looked a little bit like Stephen Curry, her favorite player. Making that three.
Lauren Gherkin there on the attempt. Couldn't get that one to fall. Now Jean back the other way. Rowe. Rowe out to the right wing. Rowe's going to try a deep three, and the first three of the night for Rowe, able to connect there. Now 66-55, 11 points is just the Falcons' lead. Gherkin. Able to get the ball. Gherkin there with a lot of room with Grayson there.
Off the knee it goes, says the official.
It'll be off the knee of the freshman.
This is a big spot in the game. 2:30 to play and 11-point lead.
So Cyper will inbound this one. Jean. Jean switches one to Cyper. Cyper's got a wide open look for three, and she knocks that one down. 66-58. An 8-point lead now down to Bowling Green. 2:10 left to play in the fourth. Fern, guarded by Manley. Velasco looking for an outlook, able to get this one to Kohler. Kohler moves inside, pass down low to Gherkin. Gherkin guarded by Grayson, and whistle blown. And a foul called on Grayson.
I believe that's her fourth as well. So
now one of the two Lady Eagles now one foul away from fouling out. Grayson and Rowe.
Now these free throws are really, really big. Gherkin's first game at the collegiate level.
Has hit 3 threes, 13
Yes.
points in her first collegiate game. 5 from 12 from the floor. It's been a great first game.
I feel like it's also been like a silent one too, like a silently good. Like one of those that snuck up on you.
Gherkin able to knock down the first one. And Gherkin, that one rolls out, but into the hands of Fern, and timeout taken from head coach Fred Chimillon, trying to settle down his team with 1:56 left to play here in the game. 67-59, Bowling Green with an 8-point lead. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com.
That was a big second missed free throw there because, I mean, it keeps it a 3-possession game rather than a 4 at 67-58. And I like the timeout there by Coach Shamil, knowing that they got the rebound off the free throw, and now you want to reset that offense. Find yourselves a shot that will, give you a huge advantage. I mean, they're on a 6-1 run at the moment in the last almost 90 seconds. They've made, Bree Sutton's made 3 of her last 4, though.
Well, Lady Eagles went 3 quarters without making a three-pointer. And in this one, they've hit 2 for 15. Still not great, but those 2 threes were big. Still only an 8-point lead for Bowling Green. Under 2 minutes left to play here. It's a 3-possession game.
Looks like a moderation of a stack play, sort of. Maybe.
Shamil talking to the official about something. 19 seconds on the shot clock. 1:56 left to play here in the match. 67-58 Bowling Green. Moxie's going to check into this one, at least momentarily.
Oh, and here comes Ellis.
How about Taya Ellis coming out of the locker room, getting a round of applause from the crowd, trying to finish this one out.
Neither of us thought we'd see her the rest of today.
Rebound there. Donahue out to Kohler from a deep 3. Can't hit that one. Off the mark.
I've agreed with many of her shot selections tonight, but that one just no.
Probably had a little bit of time to burn some stuff off the clock. Southern Mississippi will have this ball roll. Now picked up from Sutton. Every second matters. Down to 1:43 left in this one. Out to Grayson. Grayson, and it's that one to roll. Found herself wide open inside the paint. She's now up to 20 points. Most points combined with both teams.
Beautiful
Kohler
pass to set
Donahue.
up.
Great pass to build out the pressure again. Donahue with a full head of steam there at contact. No foul call. Ball falls back to Donahue. No whistle blown, and a lot of contact.
I'm amazed there wasn't a whistle there at first. I mean, the second time there was, but with how they've been calling things all night, you'd almost think that certainly there'd be a foul.
I will say officiating has been mostly consistent for most of the night. They've had a good game. It's been a very, very physical contest. I think that's what we expected heading into this one. It's opening season. 67-60 Bowling Green. 7-point lead with 1:24 left to play here. Amy Velasco's got a couple of trips from the free throw line coming up here, and these are big trips from the line.
Yes.
11 points, looking at 12. just off on that one. 6 assists on the night, leads the team.
That's not a surprise, though. Velasco very good at assists. She led the MAC in assists in league games last year.
Velasco again. And that one just ricochets in and out. Tipped out. Grabbed by Manley. Manley. Out to Grayson. And Grayson gets that one to go as well. Lead down to 5. 1:15 left.
Oh, boy.
1:11 left. And Kohler's pass. Last touched off. Southern Mississippi, but this is some nervy moments for Bowling Green trying to finish this one out.
And when you get into these situations, you got to go to your veterans, the ones who have been there, done that.
Velasco back to Gherkin. Gherkin out to Ellis. Great pass from Gherkin. Ellis to Velasco.
Love the move of
Velasco.
slowing it down.
1 minute remaining now and counting. 13 on the shot clock. Kohler. Kohler trying to feed this one to Donahue, and offensive foul called on Bowling Green. They're going to get Paige Kohler her 5th turnover.
Each team has one timeout. Big spot in the game.
Cyper trying to pass the one down to the last kick from Donahue.
Everyone's holding their breath right now, Lucas.
It's a 5-point lead. Moxie's going to come in for Gherkin. A little more experience in her first Bowling Green game. Transfer. Here's Jean. Jean moves inside. Jean guarded by Donahue. Jean puts that shot up. No good. Rebounded there from Moxie, but a foul is going to be called. They're going to get Moxie for this one.
That's her 4th, so one more and she's out.
Well, at some point, too, you think, you know, the good players for both these teams this game have been like Kohler and Grayson, but it's been such a physical game. They're all one foul away from fouling out just because of the nature of the game. These are massive free throws. Sutton, who's 1 for 10 from the charity stripe this game. Make it 1 for 11.
This is where we see how clutch you are as well.
Sutton's 2nd attempt, and she gets that one to go. So make it 2 for 12, but now more importantly, 67-63 Bowling Green. And a timeout's going to be taken for the orange and brown.
Yeah, now they're out of timeout. Southern Miss still has that one. And Lucas, I don't think we're in a situation where you need to foul if you're Southern Miss quite yet, with more time than the shot clock allots.
It's interesting. And the way this game goes, I don't know if you have enough bodies to afford a foul.
Yeah.
Your best player this game has been Grayson, 24 points. Perk from the free throw line, 2 blocks, 9 for 15 on shooting. She's 1 foul away from fouling out. Rose fouled out this game. And look at the other players. You look at Manley, 3 personal fouls as well, along with Sutton, 3 personal fouls as well. Jean, who's been an unsung hero this game, has got 3 personal fouls as well. You don't have a lot of players to really use.
I think we're going to know exactly what Joy Lee McNeilis' strategy is based on what 5 she sends out of this timeout. I mean, if you see Shanks and Evans in, then you know, okay, she's for sure going for the foul. And if you're Coach Jamil, I mean, you're putting your best free throw shooters out there.
Definitely putting your best free throw shooters, most experienced players on the court to finish this one out. First game of the season here between Bowling Green and Southern Mississippi. Both teams trying to collect that first W for the long basketball season. We're in November. It's going to go until March, and both these teams with the NCAA tournament aspirations, WNIT aspirations, hopefully April. See Jasmine Fern, Lauren Gherkin, Paige Kohler, Amy Velasco, and Ty Ellis. Fern inbound this one, Velasco. We'll see what like to do here. She's in double team, Velasco. Cyper. Looks like they are trying to foul Fern. Out to Kohler. Down to 29 seconds, and Kohler will be fouled. by Seiper, and that's going to be Seiper's third personal foul. So one of the few players that can really afford to take a foul, but Kohler, first trip from the charity stripe this game, 17 points, leads the team shooting from the floor as well, leads the team from three-point range as well.
She has a lot of experience. As we said, got a lot of minutes last year.
Kohler's first free throw attempt, knocks that one in, make it 18 points. Now 68-63 Bowling Green. Can she make it a 6-point lead with 29 seconds left to play here? And that one's good. Kohler there, perfect 2 for 2. Up to 19 points. Jean out to Manley. Manley all the way out to Sutton. Sutton drives inside and a tough contact and gets the shot to go and the foul. And Sutton's got a chance to make it a 3-point play.
I like the strategy of not just going up and hacking up a three there, but that was just a foul. Falcons could not afford to commit. I mean, a three makes it a one-possession game. I mean, it's now a 4-point game, but Sutton struggled.
This is a huge free throw, like you mentioned, Kaden. 69-65, Bowling Green. Can Sutton make it a 3-point game? 21.2 seconds left. Sutton. And she can't. In and out. Southern Mississippi gets their own rebound, however. Seiper all the way out to Sutton. Shot clock is off. Sutton has that one knocked away. Ball on the floor. Also called. Possession favors Bowling Green. Some nervy moments closing this one out.
Now you get to breathe a little. Huge spot for the Falcons defense.
Byrne throws this one up. Nice catch there from Ellis. And that one is going to be Southern Mississippi ball. They're saying Amy Velasco stepped just out of bounds near the touchline. It's Southern Mississippi possession with 9.5 seconds left on the clock. 69-65.
Was it just me, Lucas, or that looked like it hit Southern Mississippi's coach?
We don't have the best angle down here on the floor. It's down to our right. And you might be right here. They're going to probably take a look at this one.
Yeah, I really do think that hit Joy Lee McNellis. Just based on the trajectory of the basketball.
We'll take a look at this one.
Very awkward.
Just going to review, see if Velasco stepped that one out of bounds. And this is a huge call.
Yeah.
With 9.5 seconds left. Still a 2-possession game. But if you knock down a three or hit a shot, and the worst case scenario is you don't want to hit a three and foul.
Right.
And then they have a chance to tie at 69 all.
And as Coach Shamil, he gets very animated, as we all know. You could only imagine what would happen if you had a foul on a three that was made.
We'll see how the Orange and Brown can finish this one out.
Yeah.
And try to get to 1-0 to start this year. Southern Miss has outshot Bowling Green 25-17 in this fourth quarter. Bowling Green has outshot Southern Miss in every single other quarter, but it's been pretty close from other margins. If you look, go by quarter, 18-15 the first in favor of Bowling Green, 17-16 in favor of the Orange and Brown, 17-9 in favor of the Orange and Brown, but 25-17, as we mentioned, in favor of the Lady Eagles, an 8-point gap. That can be a big difference with a game as close as this.
Yes. Southern Miss already out there on the floor. Now, this is kind of a free timeout for them as well. I mean, they had the one remaining still.
So if you're Bowling Green, you have Erica Porter foul out. Moxie, Ellis, and Kohler all have one foul away from fouling out. And you have to imagine all of them are going to be on the floor for these found 9.5 seconds.
Yeah.
But as I said that, you could see Jasmine Fern.
Long review. That means it's close.
Nervy moments after this one. Bowling Green has a trip to the state of Michigan for the Detroit Mercy, taking on the Titans on Friday night at 7 p.m. right here on WBGU 88.1 FM. Starting to get into the full swing of the season, but also full swing of non-conference play. Some of the highlights: West Virginia, Ohio State, Duquesne, just to name a few. Some big non-conference opponents. We'll face all non-conference season until we head into MAC play.
Lady Eagles have Blue Mountain Christian up next on the 7th day of November. Then William Carey.
Officiating crew here still discussing if that last hit off Velasco, or was there a possible interference by the sideline? We'll see here. It's going to be Southern Mississippi ball, much to the dismay of head coach Fred Shamil.
Yeah, I think he was saying, that hit coach. Just based on it, you could tell by his body language where he was standing, like, come on. Officials say no.
9.5 seconds left, and Sun's going to inbound this one. 69-65 Bowling Green. It's a 4-point lead for the Orange and Brown. Moxie. Cypher's got a deep three. No good. Rebounded there from third, and we'll see what the call is. All bodies crashing towards the board, trying to fight that rebound. That was Donahue and Jean.
They're going to call Kohler for a blocking foul.
So they're going to call Kohler for a blocking foul, and she might be our BG Falcon Food and Drink and Player of the game, but with the nature of this game, she has fouled out, and it looks like she might have some contact with her eye again. This game has just been one physical specimen, one after another.
Yeah. Now, this is where strategy comes in. After the first free throw, assuming you make it, do you try and miss the second one intentionally, try and get a rebound?
It's probably the smart idea. You got 4.7 seconds left on the clock. 69-65 Bowling Green. Jean's first attempt is good. Now it's a three-point game, and as you mentioned, Caden, what does she decide to do here? Does she elect to just potentially miss this one? They're very good at getting rebounds.
Moxie didn't get over in time, so she can check in.
Jean's second attempt, she elects to go for it, connects. 69-67.
Here we go.
Whistle blown. 4 seconds for Amy Velasco, the Falcons to inbound. Can the Falcons see this one out? Velasco inbounds to Ellis. Ellis is fouled. Grayson and Jean was in the area. We'll see who they elect to give this one to.
Now, they did say the clock had stopped at the moment at 3.2, but I'm pretty sure it initially stopped at 3.8, and they ran off 0.6 of a second.
They're going to get Grayson. That's her 5th personal, and she's going to be the 4th player to foul out this game, and the 2nd Lady Eagle.
That's also really big. I mean, very important to this team. She's just walking around on the floor now like she's still in, but as you said, Lucas, that's 5.
So Ellis had the ball in her hands when she was fouled, so she'll go to the free throw line. These are massive free throws. Saw her walk off to an apparent injury, then came back into this game trying to finish it off. 4 blocks and rebounds and 9 points. This game, Ellis, her first attempt is good. She's up to double digits. The 4th Falcon to get up to double digits this game. 1 rebound away from a double-double. Oh, second attempt is good. A 4-point lead now for the Falcons. And those are 2 massive free throws.
Very clutch. Very clutch. From the sophomore, just took her time, took a deep breath, and had them both.
3.2 seconds left here, 71-67. Last timeout taken by Southern Mississippi. The timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can find the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll stay right here with you, Caden. What would this win mean for Bowling Green?
I mean, it sets a good precedent for the season, I'd say, because, I mean, it shows that, yeah, they had their ups and downs, but they still came out on top. I mean, yeah, this may not have been a pretty game, but if they can still win it, a win is a win. And you're going to be looking at that going into Detroit Mercy and knowing, okay, we know how to play in close games.
Been a hard-fought physical game, and you can really put this together with a lot of the MAC games that you're probably going to see a lot of years too. I mean, depending on the team, the style clashes, but also just the physicality of the MAC and sometimes the low-scoring games we can see consistently. Could definitely see that in the MAC, so this is a great test for Bowling Green. So with 3.2 seconds left here, Sutton will inbound this one. Sutton to Jean. She'll try a deep three. That one off the mark. Back to Cyper. Buzzer sounds. That'll do it. Fred Shamil and the Bowling Green Falcons take this one 71-67. The Falcons start this season 1-0. We'll take a short break here. We'll have assistant coach John Nicolay for our post-game show, along with our BG Falcon Media Food and Guide player of the game. And we'll recap this one and put a bow on it. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BGC Women's Basketball on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Did you ever ride your bike with a clothespin and a baseball card? Or use a typewriter for school paper? Then here's a timely alert. Americans born from 1945 to 1965 are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, which often has no symptoms, but is a leading cause of liver cancer. The good news? Treatments are available that can cure hepatitis C. Talk with your doctor about getting a blood test for hepatitis C. Know for sure. A message from the CDC.
BGSU football senior tight end and team captain Levi Gazarek recorded his first collegiate touchdown reception on a 2-yard pass from Connor Bazelak in the second quarter of the Falcons' 41-26 victory in the Battle of I-75 on October 26th. The touchdown grab was his first since the 2019 season when he was a senior at North Baltimore High School, where he had 158 yards and a receiving touchdown to go with 1,105 rushing yards, 1,110 passing yards, and 24 total touchdowns that season. Gazarek, who also pitches for the BGSU baseball team, is in the final year of eligibility, is a 2-time team captain, and has played in every football game since 2021, starting all but 13 in the 4-season span. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Don't have time to tune into a BGSU sports broadcast? Falcon Media Sports Network will have you covered with live updates of home BGSU athletic events. To follow along, head over to @BG_FMSN on Twitter X.
NHL star Matt Martin for American Humane.
I've had my fair share of bruises and injuries. But for many who put their lives on the line every day, it's not always the injuries you can see that hurt the most. Every single day, 184 veterans are diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. When medications and therapy don't help, professionally trained service dogs can. American Humane has created a free guide to help veterans obtain these life-saving animals. For help, please go to AmericanHumane.org.
Freshman forward Maxwell Martin scored his first collegiate goal in the first game between the Falcon hockey team and the Ohio State Buckeyes on Friday, October 25th. Martin scored on a backhand shot from the left side of the goaltender off a pass from Ben Duran. The goal was the only time BG beat a Buckeye goaltender in the 2-game series. Martin previously played 2 years for the Wisconsin Wendigo of the NAHL, his final year finishing 3rd in the league in assists, 1st in goals and points, and being named All-League First Team Forward of the Year and MVP of the NAHL. Heading into the series against Ferris State, Martin has an assist to pair with the goal, 9 shots, and a +2 rating. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
BG Volleyball looks to sweep the Battle of I-75 against Toledo on Tuesday, November 5th. Join Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak and Chaz McNeil at 5:45 for pregame and 6 p.m. for first serve on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Back here with our post-game show here. Bowling Green Falcons taking down Southern Mississippi 71-67 to improve to 1-0 to start the year. Joining alongside assistant coach John Nicolay. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. Just your overall thoughts on the win.
Well, I guess I would rather win ugly than lose pretty, but had some young kids step up and earn their stripes tonight, but a little bit disappointed with our turnovers and the rebounding margin, especially the offensive rebounds they got from the free throw line. It's a little bit unacceptable and not something that we want, but to be able to start the season out 1-0, I'll take that, certainly.
Some players like Paige Clore, Lauren Gherkin in her first collegiate game had great performances off the bench in terms of points, but too also little things as well. Ty Ellis as well, a good game as well. Can you kind of talk about their individual performances and also some other players that kind of stuck out to you as well?
Yeah, LG really stepped up for us tonight, especially on the offensive end, made some big baskets for us when we needed it. Taya was steady for us all day long. Nate gives us a defensive presence that she can, without her even scoring the basketball, she can kind of change the game and how the other team runs things just because of her defensive presence. So it's always nice to have that out there and know that we've got somebody that's a ball hawk on defense and be disruptive.
Yeah. Well, it's no secret this game was pretty physical, especially on both ends on the floor. Kind of talk about the team's mentality heading into this one with how Southern Mississippi was going to match up, but also just how can this help the team with how physical the game was for the rest of the year as well.
Yeah, well, hopefully it didn't affect Paige too much. She looked like she boxed 10 rounds out there tonight. But we knew going into the game that it was going to be physical. I mean, their style of play, Sun Belt Conference, they like to press, a lot of hand checking. Physical down inside, trap, dig. You got to be strong with the ball, and we emphasize if we take care of the ball, we liked our chances. It kind of got a little crazy there in the fourth, but again, I would certainly rather be starting the season out 1-0 than 0-1.
Yeah. And lastly, Coach, what we take from this game and kind of just the mentality heading into Detroit Mercy on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to settle down and look at the film and show them some things that we could do different. Obviously, free throw box outs were big. With the game late like it was, we probably could have executed a little bit better clock management, time score kind of things. But there were some bright spots as well. But we'll watch the film and try to critique a few things and get ready for Detroit.
Coach, thank you so much for your time and congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be back with our BG Falcon Media Food and Guide Player of the Game. Don't go anywhere. Listen to BGSU Women's Basketball here on WBGU 88.1 FM.
All over America, people are taking the National Radon Test. Have you? Answer true or false. Radon is a radioactive gas. True.
I didn't know that, no.
True or false? The Office of the Surgeon General recommends that all homes be tested for radon. True, your home should be tested. True or false? Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer. True.
I'm gonna dial the number and call
1-800-SOS-RADON.
Keep your family safe from radon. Call now.
1-800-SOS-RADON.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Thursday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
BGSU football cornerback Jordan Oladokin is this week's Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week thanks to his efforts against Toledo. Oladokin snagged his first 2 interceptions of the year in the rivalry win at the Glass Bowl. His first interception was returned 61 yards to the end zone for his second career pick 6. To add to that, he also recorded 3 solo tackles and 2 passes defended. The 6-foot senior was named to second-team All-MAC selection last season after tallying 4 interceptions, 10 passes defended, 1 tackle for loss, and 30 total tackles. This has been Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, and, of course, companionship. Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive, and now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance so common with this group.
But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You have the right to know. The right to know about culture. The right to know about the economy. The right to know about technology and to know about sports. You have the right to know about education and politics and the weather. You have the right to know what's happening abroad and in your backyard. But above all else, you have the right to know that this right is under attack, and we must work to protect it. Because in order to be free, we must be informed. Understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
Matt always knew he wanted to be a doctor. That's why he makes the most of every day. To study before breakfast, to work hard, to do whatever was necessary to achieve his goal. He found an answer in the military. If you have a passion, a vision for your future in any field, todaysmilitary.com can be your path to a fulfilling career. You have a calling, we have an answer. Find your way at todaysmilitary.com.
After a 20-win season last year, BGSU men's basketball begins their second season under Todd Simon on the road against Southern Miss on Monday, November 4th at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview and recap available on bgfalconmedia.com.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy! What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Roxanne Watson is on a mission to have more people sign up as organ, eye, and tissue donors. What drives her? Roxanne received a heart transplant made possible by an organ donor.
I decided that day to devote myself to signing up the most people in the United States. That's my goal.
Now she's a powerful force for good. What could you make possible as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Leave behind the gift of life. Go to organdonor.gov. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
On October 4th, 2024, BGSU volleyball opposite hitter Lauren Hovey recorded her 115th career service ace in BG's comeback reverse sweep of Western Michigan, passing Paige Penrod for the most in program history during the rally scoring era. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call of the historic moment on WBGU 88.1 FM.
And that will make history. Lauren Hovey's
115th ace in the rally scoring era is in the history books as the Stroh Center applauds.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing. Inspire kids to do at 4h.org.
Looking for a BG Athletics discussion show? Check out The Swoop, where a rotating cast of Falcon Media Sports Network co-hosts talk everything BGSU athletics. New episodes are available every Thursday at 6 p.m. on the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel.
My mother was always very active and independent, and she was familiar with her neighborhood. But one day, she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. She wasn't even really sure where she was at.
It's important for you to talk to someone about it. I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, we'll figure it out.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
My name is Jamal Johnson, number 6, running back in the senior, and here are my Falcon 4 favorite candies. First, we have Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, Reese's Pieces, and Hershey Kisses. And these are my favorite because when you're at Halloween and you dump out that bag, these are the best Halloween candies to pull out. So those are my favorites.
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba,
please be done.
Over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good, honey.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into our post-game show. The Bowling Green Falcons taking down the Southern Mississippi Lady Eagles 71-67 to earn their first win of the season. We have our BG Falcon Media Food and Drink player of the game, sophomore guard Paige Kohler, joining us alongside. The BG Falcon Media Food and Drink provides the latest food and drink specials from local restaurants. You can find it on our homepage, bgfalconmedia.com, or simply go to our top navigation, mouse over left, and click on Food and Drink. So Paige, first of all, how are you feeling after that game? Pretty physical contest. Just want to make sure you're okay. There's a couple of physical battles out there for sure.
I'm feeling good. We won. I mean, we ended up getting the dub in the end, and that's all I'm happy about.
Just overall thoughts on the one, you guys' performance. Kind of just take me through your guys' quarters from quarter by quarter, how you thought the team kind of did both offensively but also defensively as well.
Definitely cut down on turnovers. I mean, myself included. I'm just looking now, and I had 5. But at halftime, we had 11. I think in the end they had like 21 points off turnovers. If we cut that in half, we can definitely stretch that lead. But I think we were able to control ourselves down the stretch. Obviously, Taya hit big free throws at the end, but we had composure throughout the course of the game, I think, when it mattered most.
Absolutely, and you hit a couple of big threes this game as well. This game didn't seem like one of those games where threes are going to be falling from everywhere, but you were able to hit a couple of nice ones. I know we talked about how you want to improve kind of mid-range, but also just kind of your overall as a player as well. Kind of talk to me about how you felt from beyond the arc as well today.
I mean, I knew I had to come into this game confident, but I think my teammates found me. I mean, we find each other when we know someone's hot, and we get them the ball.
Yep. And then also freshman Lauren Gherkin in her first collegiate performance, stepped up huge off the bench for you guys as well. Taya Ellis as well was 1 rebound away, I believe, from a double-double as well. So she had a good performance as well. Can you kind of talk about those 2 performances, but also other teammates you want to shout out for their performances as well?
I mean, really everybody. But I remember telling Lauren at one point in the game, she just hit a big 3. I think it rolled around on the rim, went in, and I just told her I was proud of her. I mean, to be a freshman, come into this game and have the confidence to take those shots is huge, and we're all confident in her, but to have that in herself. And then also Taya, like, she'll tell you herself, she's come a long way, but I'm so proud of her. She contributes so much. I mean, 1 rebound away from a double-double. We needed those rebounds. Every one of those was huge.
Yep. And then you mentioned, obviously, the game went down to the very last and to the wire, but time with the lead, you guys had 37 minutes with a lead. They just had under 2 minutes as well. Can you kind of talk about how you guys' ability to keep that lead throughout the entire game while, the momentum might have swung in Southern Mississippi's favor a little bit, but you guys were able to get the momentum back, but also keep that lead to make sure you weren't behind?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if our biggest lead was 15 or so. We have to be able to stretch that for sure. Like, we can't let them speed us up, but it just shows, I mean, how hard we work that we were able to keep that lead. Again, like I said, we had some composure, could have been better, but in important moments we still had it. We were able to come away with the win in the end.
So what are some things you're going to take from this game, and what are kind of the team's mentality heading into Detroit Mercy on Friday?
I mean, we're definitely a tough team. Turnovers, I think, is a huge thing. If we can cut down on those, that limits their points, and then keep moving the ball, handle pressure. But yeah, I think this just shows, like, we have a lot of competitive teams, non-conference and conference, but this game today just shows us what we're capable of in the future.
Awesome. Well, Paige, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the big win and great performance. We'll be back here to wrap up the rest of the game. Don't go anywhere. Listen to BGSU Women's Basketball Postgame Show on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Action begins this Tuesday, November 5th at 7:30 as the Orange and Brown square off against Central Michigan. Falcon Media Sports Network will have a preview and recap of the event available on bgfalconmedia.com.
Back here one final time here at the Stroh Center for the opening game of the season for BGSU women's basketball as the Falcons take down the Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, Lady Eagles also, as we should say, 71-67, a game that was close all throughout, went down to the wire, but Bowling Green, Caden, were able to pull out for the victory.
Yeah, I mean, that game was insane. There were so many ups and so many downs really on both sides, but you had mentioned this in your interview with Paige Kohler. The Falcons led for the vast majority of it, and they only trailed for just under 2 minutes, which is huge for them.
And for you, Caden, obviously, non-conference play, you kind of just want to see what works, what doesn't work, and play good basketball nonetheless, if you're trying to be honest, because Mid-American Conference play is what truly does matter. So heading into Detroit Mercy, what do you want to see from this team? What do you want to see this team kind of improve on? But also, how important is it to just kind of start 2-0?
It's very important. I mean, in any sport, I mean, getting off to that 2-0 start and, building off of your previous games, I mean, it's just really a good step forward. Now, going into Detroit Mercy, you got to be a little less physical. I mean, we had so many fouls just on both sides, but especially on the Falcons. They had 2 players foul out. 2 players ended with 4 fouls, including, Kohler fouling out, which was huge, but, they were able to hold on. In MAC play, if she has fouls out, you might lose in that type of situation because you need her on the floor in those clutch situations. So, dialed back a little bit on the physicality and clean up some of those turnovers.
I think one of the biggest things you can take away of this is maybe dial back on physicality, be a little bit more disciplined, be a little bit more careful, but also Southern Mississippi was very physical as well, if not even more physical. So their ability to take that but also not back down for that and match their physicality and sometimes even beat them at that is something that I think a big positive this team can take to the rest of non-conference play but also the rest of the season as well.
And it's kind of crazy that it's only the first game and there's you're just back out in the basketball action for the first real time. Exhibition game, sure. But, you're out there, your players falling to the floor, bleeding, and just a very physical game.
Very physical game indeed. Well, the Falcons will start 1-0 to begin their season. They have a trip with the Detroit Mercy Titans up north on Friday. We'll have coverage for that on WBGU 88.1 FM starting at 6:45 for pregame and 7 p.m. for tip-off. That'll do it for us here. For my broadcast partner, Caden Knapp, I've been Lucas Clammer, and couldn't do this without our board operator back in the studio, Nate Henners. Nate, thank you so much for pushing on the buttons, keeping us on air. We really appreciate you, man. You've been doing great work all season long for us and for our entire Falcon Media Sports Network crew. We say so long. Final score here from the Stroh Center, Bowling Green 71, Southern Mississippi 67. Good night, everyone.
This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.